Welcome to another edition of Mass Mats and Ma'am. I'm your host, Outlaw Red. You can find me on Twitter at JustinHarvey75. You can find the entire show on the Twit machine at MMMshow75. In fact, you can find us across all social media at MMMshow75. We have a gamillion things to get to today, so I am getting right the hell to it. Casey, Byron, Meatloaf, how are you doing?
Sad. I'm sad.
Vader? It's the Vader thing?
Yeah.
I'm doing great. I'm very happy that Casey is sad. That really.
Why are you doing
great
when one of the all-time great in-ring performers has passed away? Why would you be doing great, Byron? You're a fucking heel.
The Will Ospreay mark.
I'm just happy that Casey's sad, but yeah, let's get into that. No, it's a very sad thing.
Hey, Mr. Krabs, you know what Vader never did? He never beat up his pregnant girlfriend, you asshole. Fuck extension, whatever the fuck his name is.
We don't need to talk about him.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks that sucks when people get shot and killed. But
not when they beat their pregnant girlfriends. But Vader never did that.
Let's talk about Vader because that's more relevant to us. And that's a truly heartbreaking turn of events because he had gotten real low. He had I think a couple heart surgeries. He'd been battling a bunch of stuff, and then he was given like a death notice by a doctor that, in true Vader fashion, he no-sold.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he no-sold for like 2 years. Actually, I think he did much. He didn't have any health problems like heart stuff. He's 63 years old and 400 pounds. That's like beating some odds right there, right?
Yeah. I mean, Byron's correct. He was not in the best of health.
Nah.
Mr. Leon White.
Yeah, but man, still though, the news was a shock and a bummer because like, I don't know, man. Vader seemed fucking invincible. You know what I mean? Like, especially if you watched in the 90s, it's like, shit, man. He was, I mean, you got to figure, okay, he was on top in Japan. He was on top in Europe. He was on top in Mexico, kind of, sort of. And he was on top in WCW. All at the same time, which is fucking amazing. He was a
true top guy. He was a true top guy in the 90s. Like, up there.
And as far as
everybody who watched wrestling knew exactly who the fuck he was and wanted to see him fight somebody.
Yeah, and as far as Mexico goes, because I know we're a Lucha podcast, so people would kind of want to hear that connection a little bit. He was in the UWA, which was, they were the ones where the heavyweight title meant something because Connect was the champion, and he was like, I would say he's probably the all-time great heavyweight Mexican wrestler because most of the legends are lighter weight dudes. And he was a buff dude. Connect body slammed Andre the Giant. Not a lot of people can say that.
A lot of people can say they body slam Andre the Giant, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but Connect did it in Mexico, sir. Come on.
That's true. Not a lot of people can say they did that in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
What were you saying, Meatloaf? Byron loves to interrupt you.
I was going to say, didn't Connect actually do it before Hogan?
He did.
Yes.
Well, okay. Yeah. Connect did it before Hogan did at WrestleMania 3, but he did it after Hogan did it at Shea Stadium when Hogan was the heel and Andre was the face. Yeah, but they didn't even make a big deal of it when Hogan did it at Shea Stadium. Like the announcers didn't like it. It wasn't a thing then.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that big WrestleMania moment, isn't it? Like, oh my god, it's the first time it's ever happened. It's like, no, not really, but.
Casey, where was that photo of you and Vader taken?
Oh, that was at, I forget if it was called Wrestle Reunion or WrestleCon back then. It was the last year they did it before they made it connected to WrestleMania so that more people would go to it, basically. It was over by, like, LAX somewhere. And I met Vader there. He was working out in the ring in his gimmick. And you could take your picture with him, right? And I got to the con late. And so he was getting ready to leave. And I'm like, oh, shit, can I get in there really quick with him? And they're like, yeah, but he had already taken the mask off. So my regret is that I didn't ask him if I could put the mask on since he took it off. but also I didn't want him to kick
that
my
would have
ass.
been dope. That would have been super dope.
But he might have just punched me or something. So like,
You could have cut a promo on Sting.
Oh man, you know, I actually used to call my friends and leave answering machine messages as Vader.
Okay, what does a Vader answering machine message sound like? I'll bite.
Okay, so basically it was after he lost to Kane. They had like a mask match, and Vader lost his mask. And this is in WWF, of course. And then looks at the camera and goes, "I'm nothing. I'm just a big fat piece of shit." And I used to leave that on my friends' answering machine messages, and then their parents would pick up they'd check the message. They'd be like, "Who the fuck is this? It's wearing on our answering machine." It was great. But yeah, that was my only line I could do, but and not the most flattering at this time, but you guys made me do it, so you're the dicks, not me. But no, I was a big fan of his, and plus, like, I tweeted about this. Me and Byron, like late 90s, we were huge fans of Fire Pro Wrestling, still are. And Vader was like the dude in those fucking games, man. Because if you've never played a Fire Pro game before, they have a thing called a critical, which is like hitting a critical hit in Dungeons and Dragons, right? If you hit it, you can knock somebody out 2 seconds into the match. It can happen. And Vader, some guys, they could only critical you with like their finishing move. Some guys can do like submission holds. So the Gracies were like a beast for that. But Vader, he would critical you with power moves. And he was the guy that you'd be like, holy shit, I'm playing this game for the first time, and I just lost in 30 seconds to a fucking choke slam. And it could happen. But you know what? That could happen in real life against Vader too, because he didn't give a shit.
His toughness was stuff of legend.
Right.
There's a style of wrestling that Battle Arts does that you're really into, and when you would come over before Lucha or come over before podcast, you'd put it on the TV. His old matches, the
UWF stuff with Takada.
Yeah, and it's like this. It's sort of like a shoot style type thing, and it's guys working, but you also know it's Vader beating the fuck out of someone.
Yeah, and I was. If you guys want to see that, one of those matches, I tweeted it, when we got the bad news. That was one of the matches I tweeted. So it's not that far down on my page on Twitter. Or just look up Vader Takada. There's 3 matches, and they're all really fucking good. So, like, the first one, Takada wins. Second one, Vader wins and wins the belt. Because the first one that he lost, he's like, oh, this is my first shoot style match. I'm not used to the style, He had an out to lose. The second one, he's like, fuck it, I'm taking your belt.
Didn't he powerbomb?
Is Takada looking to get his belt back and take Vader out? And there's a few other like shoot style Vader matches, all we're seeing.
Yeah.
Hey, there's the man.
Hey, Marty.
You guys hear me there?
Oh,
Who
yeah.
wants to walk with Elias?
Am I muted or something, man?
No, we can hear you.
We got you.
Can you hear us?
Live? Let me see. What am I doing here?
We got you loud and clear, Marty. I don't know if you're probably not hearing us, but we got you loud and clear. I'll text you. So
Hello.
that we have. Yeah.
Hey, Marty.
Roger 10-4.
Hey, Marty.
What's going on, man? I can't even hear myself. I can't hear you guys either.
Oh shit.
That's
we got to set them up so you can hear it.
All right. Well,
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
You guys.
Yep.
Plugging this in again.
Can you hear us at all now?
Hey, Marty, can you hear us?
It says live. I'm right there, man. Justin, can you hear me, man?
Yeah.
I can hear you.
I can't hear you, though.
Oh,
can't hear me.
crud. Oh, damn.
Let me see. What if I?
You text it.
This is the fun part about doing live podcasts, everybody. A lot of times we try to work these things out ahead of time, but we're just like, let's go, let's get in there.
Yeah, man.
Can you try turning the
I can't
volume
hear
up?
you guys. You guys hear me fine, but I can't hear, man. I can't hear anything.
That sucks.
Bummer.
Hey, Byron, you want to see if you can.
You want me to try calling back or something? Maybe we can get hooked up that way.
Let me. I have a feeling that in your settings, Marty, that you have the wrong thing selected. Do you know how to walk him through that, Byron? No.
If he's
I'm also wondering if when he plugs in the headphones, if the volume is set really low.
No,
so
it's not that.
Him about
it's when he unplugs them too. Here, why don't you guys talk amongst yourselves for a minute, and I'll get Marty dialed in.
Okay, cool. So yeah, while we,
I can hear.
Yeah, can you hear us, Marty?
Bummer, man.
It's like an exorcism. Or where's the Ouija board?
We have Zeus King Dark in the chat saying he high-fived Vader and slapped his triceps, and it was like hitting a concrete block. Now, now imagine that landing on you with a moonsault. Oof. There's actually a compilation of Vader hitting his moonsault successfully on people that I was watching.
Successfully.
I've seen some pretty unsuccessful ones. There's actually one that he did that somebody posted that was the flag match that was Vader lands on his feet. Well, he kind of like tries to land on his feet from the moonsault, and he pretty much sticks the landing. Like, I think you have to give it to him due to size, because like he kind of falls over, but his feet hit the ground, so it should count.
Yeah,
kind of like a long jump. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I think it should have worked, but
I remember when I was watching Saturday Night, and I was a kid watching wrestling. One of my early wrestling memories is Vader with his helmet in the fucking White Mountain with Harley Race, telling Sting how they're just going to destroy his life. And I was like, this is awesome. He was one of my favorite guys from the very beginning.
The White Castle of Fear.
The White Castle of Fear. Fucking his helmet would shoot off steam and have red eyes. Like the helmet was its own sentient being of intimidation.
We do have the White Castles out here too, Meef, but we don't have them in California. Like they're in East. Do you have them in Florida, Byron?
I don't know. Maybe I don't go outside. I don't want to get stabbed.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Where'd you get your pizza from? That looks delicious.
I was in the Triangle.
Wait, are you talking about White Castles? You know,
White Castle, yeah.
That's my junk. That's my junk.
So okay, they had it in Cleveland then.
It's funny because outside of Cleveland proper, we had them, but not really in Cleveland. But they do have them in Ohio and a lot of places. In fact, Ohio might be where they started.
Yeah, because okay, so like if you guys have seen the Harold and Kumar movie, you can now see why they had to go on such a trip to get to a White Castle, because they're not fucking anywhere. they're we don't get any in California. You can get microwave burgers.
From it, I thought they were like some big, massive chain.
They are in select areas.
Yeah, very select areas. It's kind of like, I don't know, like, you know how they're not a McDonald's for us in California, but they're more like a Jack in the Box, maybe. Like, I don't know, that might be more nationwide. Carl's Jr., which is called Hardee's in lesser states. You know, that kind of thing.
Wait, whoa. You talking about my east of the Mississippi Hardee's?
Yeah. I'm sorry,
burrito.
Justin. It's Carl's Jr., man.
You know, it's funny because I never liked Hardee's back there anyway. So,
yeah.
We lost Marty, but hopefully we'll get back in a second.
Yeah, hopefully it works this time. He's a fun guy to talk to, man. But okay, so
we make fun of it all the time on this show too, about how tricky it is to get in here with the technical stuff. So at least all of the listeners are feeling exactly what we go through in general, trying to get guests dialed in with the Hangouts thing. It's really simple and straightforward, except for the fact that people's computers just don't jive with it sometimes.
Right. And Andre Nichols says there's a few in the Midwest, but it's mostly an East Coast thing, which means they're in Australia. I did not know that. Good day. Good day, Andre.
Australia.
Really?
Isn't Andre a French name?
He's from Georgia.
Oh, wait. Are you trying to tell me that he's a
He was
giant?
in Russia?
Yeah, the country.
Did you realize Australia is literally like...
All I know is the last name Nichols is clearly Australian because of great Australian superstar Mikey Nichols. I don't know what the fuck they call him in WWE.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, I agree with you. That's solid logic.
Yeah.
Australian. I agree with that.
Oh, he is Australian.
Yeah. Good day, homie. See, there we go.
Who else in the chat room? So Andre's in the chat room, obviously. Zeus in there?
Yeah, Zeus is in there. We got Rachel Lamoth. We got Rebecca Locke. We have other Lucha Gringo. We have Paul Kross, of course. And I'm not forgetting anyone.
You're not? Nope. You don't have Krabs?
I don't know. Krabs hasn't said anything in a while. Maybe Krabs left. Maybe his mom put him to bed. I don't know.
Maybe he does the dial-up internet and he has to pay per minute.
Yeah, that Prodigy can be a bitch, let me tell you.
Oh, God.
Remember that.
Buy on the expert on paying by minute.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We found out how brutal that was by accident.
Everyone is relieved that Justin's wearing a hat again. I don't know what that means. What's up, Kevin Flynn? The monster Kevin Flynn.
Okay, so the real question, and this is more for the ladies than the fellas, because I don't really necessarily care what the fuck y'all think.
You can answer it.
Okay, glasses, no glasses.
Oh, Kevin Flynn's here. Kevin Flynn. Hold on. Justin, the monster Kevin Flynn is here. We need to. It's the first time he's ever been in here when we've had the show.
Is it the first time he's been in here live?
Yes.
We need a Kevin chant.
Man, and he goes to a lot of wrestling shows too. He doesn't have time to be watching this shit live.
Exactly.
He was nose to nose with Minoru Suzuki at the last New Japan show in Los Angeles,
and he lived to tell the tale.
Yeah, but Suzuki lived to tell the tale.
Exactly.
We need a Kevin Flynn shirt. Get a Kevin Flynn shirt made up.
The Kevin Flynn shirt is the Mass Max and Mayhem shirt. Damn it! Didn't you see that Modelo ad in the first episode?
Exactly. He's basically the Spuds McKenzie of Lucha Underground.
Which was great. My favorite Kevin Flynn story is that on the first day of taping for season 4, he showed up in an MMMshow shirt, unprompted by us. We did not pay Kevin.
Hey, it's Marty.
Hey, I can hear you.
Yes.
Hey,
Yes.
So Kevin shows up to the temple in the Mass Mats and Mayhem shirt. I had not even signed the release yet for it. So Kevin almost had to go into the temple for season 4 first taping without a shirt on. He was going to have to just go in, bare nipples hanging out. So
dude, we could have got him some paint.
He would have fit in.
He probably would have. There was a few that day. So Marty, how the hell's it going, brother? You are
wow.
We got you on here, though. You're here. You're here with us now.
We did, man. We're here. Yeah, man. Like you and I had talked at the Contender, Justin, and we were like, hey, man, we got to do this.
Oh, yeah. And honestly, the Contender's as good a place to start as any. Those, what was it? It was the quarterfinal rounds. I can't say anything about what was actually happening other than holy wow. Like, just every expletive you can imagine me saying. There was a few fights near and dear to my heart that I got out to, and that shows just there's no way for it to be bad.
Oh, I mean, just some of the stuff that they were shooting was like, wow, this is going to be good stuff. And it's cool because it's going to be on a cable network, which is Epix. And dude, it's going to be uncensored and it's going to be raw, man.
Oh, man, I didn't even think about the fact that it was on Epix, and I could have been in the audience just yelling all kinds of expletives.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but they're not going to censor you out, though.
I know. I feel like I blew my shot. Like, even some of the stuff I've said at the temple has gotten cut out.
Yeah, exactly.
Our ECW chant got edited out last week, but that's probably because of WWE.
Yeah, because of licensing and trademarks and all the other good stuff that comes along with that stuff, so.
Well, I gotta tell you, I had never in my life expected to have a a genuine reason to be starting an ECW chant in the temple.
Oh, you had you had a huge reason.
Yeah, I that caught me completely off guard too. And Evie Dub had said that there was a surprise coming up, and I thought he was talking about Jesse Goddard's from Big Brother, the Mr. Spectacular.
Oh no!
When Spectacular came out, I was like, "This is the surprise! This is the surprise, Eric! What the fuck?" And then when Tommy hit, I was just like, I was almost in tears.
Dude, what they should have done is they should have edited in Eric pointing to himself and pretended that it was an EVW chant.
EVW.
Yeah. But you know, it's funny. I found out like 2 weeks before Tommy was going to be there.
You knew. So you knew, and you didn't tell us. You son of a gun.
Hey man, I'm sworn to secrecy, brother.
Yeah,
But you know, it's funny. It's funny because I tell people, you know, I said I only count to 3 at the temple. That's all I do there. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Right. That's all he does, everybody. I gotta ask you. I'm gonna ask you about your compadre there, Mr. Knox.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is public knowledge. I mean, it hasn't aired yet, but it is public knowledge that he took a little bit of a boo-boo at one point in time. And we won't talk about how or what happened, but man, how dangerous is it for you guys in the temple?
It's very dangerous. I mean, just for referees in general, I mean, it's always been a dangerous job, you know, and there's a lot of hazards to it. And I think that's the part that a lot of people, you know, misconstrued is, you know, we're just guys in stripes counting 3, but, you know, it can be dangerous, and, you know, we can be hurt just as much as the talent. And, you know, what happened to Knox, I mean, that's exactly what happened. I mean, he got hurt.
Yeah, and I think we can point to Tommy Young as another example of that. I mean, his career was ended due to an injury.
Yes, and Tim White as well in Hell in a Cell 2001 versus Jericho. When he took that shot against the ring, against the cage, his shoulder was separated and it was never the same, and he had to retire.
Oof.
Yeah.
Well, don't get hurt, Marty.
Please no.
Oh man, I try my best not to, man. Trust me.
No more Johnny Mundo matches.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's like, hey, bro, you're my ref, right, bro? I was like, yeah, I am. So.
One of these, can't you just kind of like recuse yourself out of his matches or something? Isn't there some gimmick where you can say, hey, I got a cold, Johnny, like you're on your own?
I could, you know, being that I'm the senior official who makes the assignments and stuff, so I could do that. But Johnny's so freaking good, man, and great, man. You know, like I just don't want to miss a moment.
What if you're the guy that runs in after the first guy gets hit?
Okay, we can do that. You know, so I can cap the final 3. Yeah, there's a storyline right there.
There it is. Well, and be careful with that Mundo guy. There's no telling like what kind of weird mosquito bite malaria he brought back from Survivor.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Which is amazing. I can't believe that stayed under wraps for as long as it did, and then it came out, and I was like, "What? That's where he's been this whole time." I was like, "What? What is he pregnant? Why? Where is Mundo?"
Was he really using Johnny Survivor as his name?
Watch the show, brother. That's all I can say.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what he did, but yeah, I would not be surprised.
Yeah. I'm sworn to secrecy on everything, man.
Damn,
that's nice that Eric's little brother gets to kind of ride his coattails on.
Wait,
that.
Is Matt the little brother? I thought Eric was the little brother. I thought Matt Van Wagenen was the big Van Wagenen.
We mean in our hearts, not by age.
I'm just stirring it up. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Eric's the big brother in our hearts.
Eric
Davis.
Look,
look, as much as I love Lucha Underground,
I love that guy, man.
Matt has clearly a slightly more successful show.
Well, now that he got one of Eric's top stars on it.
Yeah, exactly. Now that he's getting Lucha Underground star Johnny Mundo, former Lucha Underground champion, maybe they'll get a little ratings bump.
Well, he's trying to steal a couple of stars
taken to Slam Town.
He's trying to steal a couple stars from Roach and Big Brother too.
This is true.
It's all one big happy big family over there.
Big Brother?
Big Brother, Survivor, Lucha Underground. I mean, I think
The Contender.
All right, so Marty, what were you doing over at the Contender? I mean, you were kind of helping run that gym over there?
Yeah, I actually was the gym manager on the show. So I was running the whole gym, and I actually had an assistant, man, a great kid by the name of David Miharis. He was great, man. I got hired on by Josie Lambert, who's
yeah.
co-executive producer of Lucha Underground. Because we had talked about this and threw it around for a bit before it actually happened. And they needed a gym manager, and they needed somebody who could build rings, a la they were boxing rings, but it's like a ring is a ring. So talked to Josie about it, and Carlos Vargas, the medic on Lucha, was working on the show, and he told Josie, he goes, yeah, let's bring Marty on. Josie gave me a great shot, man. I went in there kind of blindsided by the boxing world, but within the first couple of days, man, I was in there and, it rocked.
Well, I mean, you had some legends around to help you through it. Naseem and Roach, Freddie Roach, and freaking Andre Ward.
Mm-hmm.
For goodness sakes. You were in pretty good hands over there.
Yeah. And, all those guys that you mentioned right now, were just great to work with, man. Very hands-on, and, they would ask me questions. I would ask them. And then it was great because there's a lot of wrestling fans in boxing. And, when they find out who you are and what you do, it's like, like they want to talk to you. And I'm going, oh, okay. So it was a lot of fun. A lot of bonding, man. A lot of bonding with the wrestling stuff. You'd be surprised. And just having conversations with Freddie, Naseem, and Andre and saying, hey, what do you guys need? Where do I need to be? What do you want? How do you want it? And just knowing what their needs were going to be, because that's pretty much what the gym manager entailed. That's what I did, man. And it was a blast, and I can't wait to do it again.
I gotta say, I was very impressed with Andre's just overall presence, how he's kind of grown as a man, even outside of the ring. And like, he really managed to carry himself as a legend, and to be both flamboyant and humble at the same time every time I encountered him at those tapings, which was pretty impressive. I didn't think that he quite had that level of savvy yet, but he was really, honestly, a pleasure to be around. And I think he really brought some charisma to the show.
Yeah, he was great. And, to see him go out there and cut those promos and stuff too was very impressive, man, because he really came across like he'd been doing this for years, but he hasn't. And just to see him interact with those contenders and the folks, it was great to see him actually mentor some of these guys too, man. And it was such a thrill to be a part of, Andre Ward, Naseem, and Freddie Roach. That was humbling, dude.
I still don't know what EV-Dub did to get Freddie Roach on the show, or how, not that Freddie didn't seem like he loved every minute of it, but Freddie's a big name to be taking that kind of chunk of time out of his life and coaching up and coming guys,
Dude, it's huge, man. And to see him every single day, man, on time to work and do his stuff, man, was just hats off to him. And he's such a sweetheart too, man. Such a sweetheart.
When does this show premiere? Do you know when the premiere date is? Because I gotta make sure that I'm watching.
Rumor has it. October on Epix. Don't know when, but I heard October.
Yeah,
that's a rumor that I heard.
And I've been hearing that there might be a live finale episode in Vegas or something.
Another rumor.
Yeah, that would be awesome if it was. I'd go out for it. I don't know.
I'll be there.
I wasn't at the
there.
I wasn't at the last 2 episodes, so I don't know exactly where everything ended up. I got to see down to like the last 4 guys, and they were all super exciting. By the time it got down to 4 dudes, it was like, oh snap! I have no clue where we're going from here. So if there's still yet another chance for me to see any more of this thing in any fashion, man, I'm gonna do my best to be there. It was pretty amazing. Anybody who's a real fight fan, combat sports fan, even just a wrestling fan, if you have never gotten into boxing before, I would say that the Contender on Epix is probably a very good place to start.
Yeah, you got a lot of great people behind the scenes, man.
Yeah, I think it's a good inroads too. The fights aren't too long. They're a lot more evenly matched than you're going to see in a lot of boxing out there, where promoters trying to push one guy over another one. It's a contest show, so it's a luck of the draw of who you get and how you get them, and you got to get in there and stand your ground. And it seems like the fighters themselves were not shying away from the top guys. It seems like they were coming at each other for who was going to fight who.
Yeah. Like they were all gunning for that one prize, man. So it got very interesting. The last 4, 5, 6 guys, very interesting.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like they were afraid to try to prove themselves against the other best guys there too. Like You know, if I'm going to be the guy, I got to beat the guy. So bring him on.
That's pretty awesome because, like, even for non-boxing fans that might be listening to this show, The Contender is just a really well-made show. Like, my girlfriend watched the whole first season. She doesn't normally watch boxing. She loved The Contender. You know, the one that Mora won, and the Latin Snake.
Snake.
Yeah, that was a great season, and you know, and it got her to watch Tough Enough with me, I think, too, unless that happened first. I can't remember.
Yeah, but I mean, that's part of where these shows come from. I mean, part of why the UFC is so huge was because of Ultimate Fighter. I mean, these shows are a good inroad into the sport. They're a good cross section of what's going on. You get to get behind guys whose stories are fresh and new, so the announcers aren't assuming that you know anything. It's just a really good place to start in general. So I'm excited to check it out, and excited to see what our man Marty Elias had to do here. Who wants to walk with Marty Elias?
Oh, horrible, Justin.
At the first Elias on Twitter.
At the first Elias. That's the new handle, right? At the first
handle. That's the new handle, brother.
I like
There's a reason for it because they said Elias with me before they did him. So there you go.
See? I love it.
Who's better on guitar, you or that other guy?
Oh, come on.
I'm better on bass, but you know what? I'm just better at everything.
Maybe your catchphrase should be who wants to pick with Elias then.
Exactly. See, and you know, I have my own picks. He doesn't.
Exactly.
What if you formed a band? You were the lead man. You're in the front with the microphone, and then he was like in the back in the shadows, but he got to fill in some music. Would you want to do a band with him like that? Like maybe
Absolutely.
he could be behind a curtain, maybe.
Yeah, you know what I was even thinking, you know, that I should go in and manage him. How about that?
Oh. Double Eliases. I like it.
Elias Alliance.
Elias Alliance. Yes.
You spell alliance with an E.
There you go. Elias.
Then you can trademark it. It works.
You're just printing money right now. That's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing.
Thanks for the 10%.
Exactly.
Chat room, if you have any questions for senior Lucha Underground official Marty Elias, make sure you type them in there, and then Byron will probably ignore them and not read them. But, you know, it's worth a shot.
You're overestimating my literacy.
So, Marty, I want to ask you a question about Lucha Underground. You were the referee, I believe, in the Dragon versus Dragon match this week, right?
Ooh.
Yes.
There could be only one.
What is it like when you're in there with two guys that are going that speed? Because we've talked about Lucha Libre and stuff before, but I mean, there's like reffing a WWE match with some top guys who are going to work a certain speed, a certain style. Everyone knows what's going on. And then there's getting in the ring in between Dragon Azteca Jr. and Drago.
Yeah, if I could add to that,
operating at a different speed.
If I could add to that question a little bit, it's like, how tiring is it when Drago, whose offense is 99% different roll-ups with near falls, to have to keep getting up and down for all those pins in that match?
It's called doing your cardio, man.
Nice.
Hey, Mark, didn't you do a cardio or a fit challenge with Mundo recently?
Wow, hey, thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, actually, when we wrapped on the 17th of March for Ultimate Lucha, I was 204 pounds when we wrapped. And like you said, thank God I did some cardio when I was doing that, but I was over 200 pounds for those tapings. So Johnny and I always talk about everything and anything under the sun, man. And I kept complaining about not being in shape and everything. And he turns to me and he goes, you know what, dude? He's like, everything you've set your mind to, he goes, you've done it, man. You've refereed all over the world. You top stars. You're doing stuff. You're here. You're on Glow. He goes, if you set your mind to it, you can do it too. You can be in great shape and look great. He goes, I challenge you for season 5, dude. And that's all he said. And I went, wow, he's right. So dude,
you already won the challenge. Ladies, I'm here to tell you, Marty is in lady killer form now.
Ooh,
when I saw him at the Contender, I was like, who's this skinny guy? What's going on? Oh, hey, I thought you were a wrestler or a boxer.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know what really did it for me is like, I committed to it, like I've done everything else. And what I did is I changed my diet drastically, and I just really intensified my workouts, because I was, like I said, I was doing cardio, but now I'm doing cardio. And, right now for me, it's maintaining, because I was 204 pounds on March 17th. As of today, I'm at 167.
Nice.
Wow.
And I was wearing a 2X shirt. I'm now wearing a medium.
What did you do with your diet? Are you doing like paleo or
don't give him any secrets. Byron just needs to be a fat ass.
And Justin,
he's
a medium. Send him a medium MMMshow shirt.
He's a medium, Justin. How do you feel about that?
The aspiration is to get into a MMMshow shirt and look like Jim Velasco.
Hey, and that's the thing, you're like, I'll wear your guys' tees. You guys know that.
Oh, it's coming.
During a match?
You got one coming.
No, you gotta wear the stripes during a match.
Be happy that Striper wore one on air for us this season, man. It's unprompted.
It's making sure with the stripes on
it was funny. It was funny because I haven't seen episode 2, but I've seen the premiere, and you guys got a lot of TV time, man. Congrats.
Yeah, there's a reason for that, Marty.
I'm sure.
I'm going to tell you what the reason is. There was no favoritism. We had a lot of people in the audience that first night that were unaccustomed, let's say, to the traditions that are held to a high standard in the temple.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple of fine gentlemen who had been to a few tapings before, namely Byron and myself, felt the need to be temple leaders for the day and really kind of get things amped up. And I feel like Brandon, our handy dandy cameraman there in bleacher section,
God bless him.
God bless the kid. He bumps better than anyone, and we'll talk about that later. I hope that shot. They should leave that shot in the show because he kept the shot the whole time.
Hey, it's great. It's great. He took a bump at the Contender too.
Did he?
Yes, he did.
I should have busted his balls about that. We're gonna have Brandon on the show at some point too. So.
Oh hell yeah, dude! I love that guy.
Hilarious.
Yeah. Good dude, man.
Yeah, he's a great guy. So it was funny because Brandon's got he does this thing where he's still got a shot, but he kind of is looking around, and he was almost angry because every time he was just like, God damn it, Byron and Justin are the only ones doing anything right now. Fine. Fuck it, I'll put the camera on those guys again.
Well, it was just like they would cut to the bleachers every now and then because they just had to at some point cut to someone else, and you would see a bunch of people sitting down. That never happened before.
Unacceptable.
No.
Unacceptable.
And people are feeling entitled, man.
Yeah, it was like get amped up, and don't get me wrong. There were some things on the production side too that kind of made the night go a little long, that slowed things down a little bit. Like it was everybody. The crowd was a little off. A few things. It was just a little off. But at the same time, the only way that's going to get any better is for everybody to start putting more into it, not putting in less. So what you have there is not Byron and I saying, fuck this. This isn't the old temple, blah, 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 boo-hoo, like a lot of people were. We were like, fuck it. We'll take this into our own hands. We're going to make this feel like we want it to feel. We are here to feel a certain way. We enjoy acting a certain way when we're here and doing this a certain way. So we're just going to do that. Rest of the world be damned, and we did. We had fun, in spite of any hiccups. Yeah.
Like you should, man.
And I got a lot of shit last week because, I gave an honest critique of the first episode and it being a little bit off. But what people don't understand is that we all knew it was a little bit off. Everybody who was there was like, damn it, that wasn't quite what we were hoping for. And it sucked. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Nobody wanted to be that way.
I'll say this to all the naysayers and whatever. If we were feeling that, you should have felt everybody in the back. I mean, we all knew, but we said, look, tomorrow's another day. That's what we're going to go do. We're pros. That's what we do. And okay, it is what it is, man.
And you guys recovered because this week's episode was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
It was amazing. Coming back the next day, there was a lot of things that changed overnight. And you think that things can't change overnight, but I don't know what happened with you guys in the back. It doesn't seem like it was in a negative fashion, too. It didn't seem like, EV Dub came in and rallied the troops by saying, you get your shit together kind of thing. I don't know. There was just this positive vibe, this positive energy.
Yeah.
Byron, kudos to Byron too for bringing his friend Vanilla Ice that day.
Yeah.
I think that also
That
raised
amps people
spirits.
up.
Thanks, man. That did.
Hey, no problem. He loves it. We were talking about it the other day. I mean, we talk about it often, actually. He had such a great time. He brought his family, and every one of them came up to me and told me how much fun they had. It was awesome.
He needs to come back for season 5, bro.
He wants to.
Yeah,
Well,
I thought he was going to. Byron was going to twist his arm to come back for Ultima Lucha, but I think he had some other engagements, right?
Yeah, he had I think he wanted to, but then he found out he had a show, something.
Hmm.
But it does show the night 1 to night 2 thing. I think what stood out to me is it showed the professionalism and the pride that you could tell that top to bottom everyone in Lucha Underground takes in their job, because it could be easy to get demoralized from that first night, or
I'll let you guys in on a tidbit. When we came in that next day and right before we went out and started shooting and everything, EV-Dub did have a talent meeting. I'm not going to say what was said or whatever, but EV-Dub is the type of leader that when he says something a certain way, man, you want to go out and bust your ass for the man, and that's what we did. So,
I mean, I feel like that we're sitting in the audience.
Yeah.
You know, he'll come out and specifically talk to a lot of the believers in the crowd, and he'll get them fired up. Like, hey guys, we got some good stuff planned for you today. You got to come in there with all your energy and give it to us. Like he basically will come out and direct the crowd before the show even starts.
Yeah.
You know, and he'll get people fired up.
And in previous seasons, he's come over to me and said, Casey, these people are dead. What the fuck? And then like it's my fault.
Your job. There's locker room leaders, there's temple leaders, there's production
and
leaders.
There's EV-Dub the leader.
Yes.
That's what a good leader does, man.
I mean, well, look, let's be honest. Roach and DJ are great writers. The performers are awesome. You and Rick and Justin got your act together. The man's got to do something for his money. He's got to do something to earn a paycheck.
Here we go.
You should have seen him on the Contender, man. Same thing, dude. It was awesome.
That honestly almost seems like a harder job to me. I mean, wrestlers, they're there to be on TV and do a certain thing. Fighters are a different breed, man. I've worked with fighters. When I was working on Tap Out, producing fighters is a nightmare of any kind, because they're not there to play TV as much as they are there to stay alive and then murder the hell out of somebody else.
Yeah.
So trying to get them to think about where cameras are and when things go, like wrestlers can do that stuff because they know they want that shot at the end. They know where the hard camera is. They know what they got to do. But I feel like any producer on a show with real fighters is just like asking for it, man. But it seems like you guys had a good cast over at Contender too. And
yeah, it was good, man. I can't wait for people to see it. Just like, the rest of season 4, man. I mean, you guys were there, and you guys know what's happening, man. I mean, a lot of good stuff, man.
So what are you most excited about without spoiling anything? Is it some of the feuds? Is it working with certain talent, or what moments are you feeling like are really going to put it over the top?
A little bit of both, man. A little bit of both, or all of the above, I should say, because, getting to work with some people who I haven't got to work with in a bit, some of the angles and the storylines, with people who deserve a shot, and who were really going to, surprise a lot of people this season. It was good to see those characters, storyline wise, move up or move on or do something different, which was great. And then it really gave a few of those characters, an opportunity to shine this season. And just, we had a different vibe with the new temple, and, it really pushed us to do something different, because we had a different canvas, so to speak. And that's what we did. Yeah.
I mean, it was a little strange for all of us at first, but I got used to it very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Venue wise, I think I like the new temple better in a lot of ways. Hey, here's a question that a lot of people have been asking about, and I've talked to a few people about this and gotten very different answers. The yellow second rope, Marty, I've heard that some of the luchadors were asking for a brighter colored second rope. I've heard that it was just a design thing as part of the new temple. I had heard that they decided to go all blue at first, and then the yellow came in. you being the senior official, is there any specific reason for that second rope to be that color?
I will say this, as the ring guy for Lucha Underground, and in talking with our set design manager, Kelly Van Patter, which I'm sure you guys know Kelly, it was a production design. It wasn't anything to do with this or that. It was a different design, different colors, giving the temple a different feel. That's all it was.
Okay, so it's just the color palette. I get it.
That's it. That's all it was. It had nothing to do with this or that or whatever. I mean, it was just the color sequence matched the vision and what they had for the new temple, and that's all it was.
Well, I think that brightly colored second rope is good for Phoenix, because when he's doing that stuff where he like bounces off the top rope and down, and like I've seen him miss that stuff before, and oh my God, every time he did any of that kind of stuff in season 4 of Lucha Underground, and we've already seen it in the first couple episodes, amazing. Like his rope work and the stuff he's doing is ridiculous right now.
Well, it also goes back to, having somebody who knows what the hell they're doing about the ring too, so I mean, got to make sure the rings and ropes and everything, are okay.
So, but people don't know this. We get to see this in the temple. Before every match, Marty will come out and check the tension on the ropes too. And for certain spots and certain guys, ropes have to have a certain level of tension. And for the high flyers, I'm assuming they need to be a little tighter and whatnot. But do you decide that, or are the talent telling you that, or what? Like, who's deciding the tightness of the ropes? I mean, given on a grave consequences, you're gonna loosen the shit out of the bottom third rope or whatever, so you can slide in coffins and whatnot. But on regular matches, who's deciding that?
Well, it depends on who's wrestling. Season 2, I had Ray say, "Hey, can you make sure that the middle rope is tight, and I need the top one with a little bit less tension." 619. So with stuff like that, or Phoenix has a specific spot where he's doing his deal, or they want to try something different, the different suplex or something, or they tried something new in Mexico that they want to try here. It's hey, do you think I can have that top one really tight in this corner? Or do you think I could get it tight in the middle? So I'll say, yeah, sure. And knowing my tension and what works and stuff, I'll go out there and go off a feel and stuff. And there you go.
This is the kind of stuff you don't get to see on the show either. It's like, I wish they had just one clip of you kind of coming in and checking them every now and then, just as a transition, so people will see some of the stuff going down.
Yeah, I wondered about that. Like, why was it just maintenance? Like, were they loosening up, but it's really interesting that you bring up that sometimes the wrestlers or luchadors have a preference and they want to adjust between matches. That's really cool.
Or Johnny will say, "Hey, Marty, can you make sure the ropes are tight all around?" All right, cool, man. I'll make sure that they're tight all around. It just depends, man, on what the guys are doing.
No, Johnny will come in and say, "Make sure you're looking the other direction so that my wife can come in and beat up on Cobra Moon."
Yeah,
son of a bitch. So.
I don't like what he's doing to the Reptile Tribe, by the way. I really don't
like
Mundo's I don't like Mundo's attitude towards the Reptile Tribe and Cobra Moon lately. Really just put me off.
Friend of the show, Cobra Moon. You forgot that part, Byron.
Friend of the show, Cobra Moon. She deserves more respect. She deserves better from.
You just say that now until we get Johnny Mundo on the show, and then you'll be marking out for him for a year.
Be like, I never called you names once.
One of my favorite thing to do when Johnny Mundo, since he turned heel mid season 1, is to give him a middle finger and call him a fat ass, and tell him that he looks like he's been looking at a loaf of bread lately, and that his body fat percentage has to be at least 0.7%.
Wow, that's great.
We need Marty in the UK, by the way.
It's a lot to yell, by the way. I don't think it really comes across, but I know what I'm saying.
Wait, Meef, are you trying to book Marty Elias in the UK?
Oh,
who's trying to book Marty Elias in the UK?
Do it.
We need Marty for Phoenix's sake, because I've seen him run across the top rope and nearly die.
No. And that all goes back to rings, man. The way rings are built, the way they're assembled, who's maintaining the rings. As a matter of fact, that's my job on Glow as well.
Which is the next thing
you run a cable in America, don't you?
Yeah, run cable or rope. Like I've worked with both. And know how to work with both of them.
So there we go. Because I think in the UK, we just use rope. That's it. Or that's all you can use. I don't think they allow.
Yeah, and you see what happens with rope. with rope, what you need to do is you need to bring your bottom come-alongs in first, and then you got to bring your rope in, one at a time, because what happens is when you bring that tension in all at once, it just messes up everything, and your come-alongs and your ropes start doing that, and that's why they're loose. Shit, man, I should charge for saying that.
Secrets.
Yeah.
We have some UK listeners too that are probably like, get my ropes right.
Wait, do you twist it?
I'm going to start giving tips on the show.
It's all experience, man.
We have some questions in the chat room.
All right, send them in, Byron. Send them in. Send them in hot.
Sending them in. Let's see. Rachel Moth wants to know I pronounce your name wrong. Sorry, Rachel. What is your favorite match that you officiated seasons 1 through 3?
Ooh, look at that.
This one's for Marty.
Season 2 was Pentagon versus Triad, and which was amazing.
Yeah.
So, and it was cool because I love those girls. I mean, those girls were phenomenal and worked their asses off, man. And I'm so happy for their success right now. I mean, one of them's in Ring of Honor. 2 of them are going to be in WWE. So that's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah.
But that one, and then the Johnny Mundo All Night Long and Willie Mack All Night Longs were pretty good too.
Oh, like part 1 and part 2?
Yeah, absolutely. With Puma and with Willie. The one with Willie I thought was better.
Yeah.
I did too. Yeah. Surprisingly.
I
guess it isn't surprising. Willie's fucking
Willie rules, dude. Man.
He was
I love
man.
Willie
was
Mack,
it
man.
At the taping after was it the first one? Didn't they lead Willie Mack and someone, I forget whose name it was, led the audience, the believers around on like a giant conga line after the match?
Yes.
That was so much fun.
Yes, they did. Only Lucha Underground.
Oh, Kevin Flynn asking the important questions. What does Marty think of Justin Borden's white pants?
I love Justin. White pants don't mean shit, man. You can wear red pants, blue pants, as long as you're in there being a fucking referee. That's all that counts. I love Justin. Doesn't matter, dude.
I mean, have people not heard of Tarantes or red shoes? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Refs,
they have those things. I mean, Tarantes.
Let's not mention Tarantes.
It's all entertainment. I mean, it really doesn't mean anything. Referee's part of the show. If he's wearing blue pants, no pants, or whatever, it doesn't matter, man. The guy's in there as long as he's counting 1, 2, 3. He's not getting his shit in. I mean, he's still there. I mean, he's part of the show. So take it for what it is. If you don't like it, well, fuck.
I mean, was it after Labor Day though?
Yeah.
No, that's just shoes. The pants are okay. It's white shoes after Labor Day.
I don't care about his heel status. That just might be a fashion faux pas.
I don't know though, but we have seen we've seen the no pants referee whenever Shawn Michaels used to referee.
That's true too.
As long as we don't see the coked up Rick Knox referee too many times with the super kicks.
but here's the thing, talent changer gimmicks and costumes all the time, man, and nobody says anything about that. Like they want the new shirt or whatever with the new gimmick. I mean, what's wrong with the referee going in wearing white pants to change up his look? Jericho does it all the time.
Yeah, it's weird because I get what some people are saying is like, they have that McMahon kind of theory of the referee should be not seen. Like you shouldn't even really know the ref is there. You shouldn't know who the ref is.
Yeah.
But I always liked in WCW when they would kind of acknowledge who the ref was and the guys would get spots and the little Nate gimmicks and whatnot. And,
or how about when Bischoff fired Pee Wee Anderson? He has a family to feed.
Well, and the whole thing to me is, guys, it's still entertainment. I know, yes, if we're talking in a world where we're trying to portray everything like it's a straight up sport, we're not going to know who the referees are necessarily. But even these days in the NFL and the NBA, they're telling you who the lead official is now. Those guys are getting more mic time. They're becoming personalities and characters. Announcers are starting to know the refs' backstories because they have a huge part in the games. And I don't see a problem with wrestling going that way of like, it's an entertainment sport. It's sports entertainment. So the referees, you've got a third guy in there. If the third guy in there can be part of the entertainment as well, and you're paying him, why not?
Yeah, exactly. And we see it in Mexico. We see it in Japan. We're just not seeing it in the U.S. until now. And, I mean, come on, Mexico, you got a referee with a see-through shirt and some suspenders on. You know,
Marty, did WWE make you shave your facial hair? Because I've noticed that none of the guys there have facial hair. And
didn't Tim White have facial hair when he was?
Tim White had facial hair. Jimmy Corderas had facial hair.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just their new crop of guys. They look so young, man. All the refs in WWE look like babies to me right now, and I don't know almost any of them. What's that?
Drake has a Hulk Hogan tan, but he's a legend. Yeah, like Meatloaf.
Meatloaf, what is your problem with Tarantes?
It's Hijo del Tarantes that he has the problem with, actually.
Yeah, he messes with my shit.
All right.
He messes with Phantasma, and that's just that's it. You mess with Phantasma, you fuck with me.
I see Phantasma isn't podcasting with you tonight, Meatloaf.
Yeah, where's your mannequin, dude?
I'm facing the other way now.
Oh,
it's in for a cleaning, guys.
I told the chat room. I told the chat room he was in your bathtub.
Marty, just so you know, Meatloaf has a life-size black mannequin that is anatomically correct, and still months into this is undressed and sits in the background of Meatloaf's room.
He claims it's going to have Phantasma gear on it eventually, but it's been months and it's still naked.
It's very chocolate.
He calls it the Outlaw LA Red.
Nope.
I don't know.
Nope. There you go. Look at there he is.
There he is.
He's got a Los Ingobernables.
Oh, he's a little modest today.
He's got a hat.
I'm not going to show you.
That's a start.
I'm not going to show you the Crocs, though.
That's a start. You got a hat.
Terrible. That's why I never showed you the Crocs.
Yeah, we don't want to get a red flag on YouTube. Don't move the camera down too far.
Anyway, Marty, meet Meatloaf. Meatloaf, meet Marty. I don't think you guys have met before.
This is why I talk over Meatloaf all the time.
He is chatting live from the UK with us right now.
I love the UK.
What time of the morning is? Yeah, it's like a whole different day there already, isn't it?
Yeah, time
10 past 4.
10 past 4
a.m. What numbers are you running a lotto tickets?
And the sun's coming up.
Wow.
What's that?
We got to speaking of talking to Meatloaf, we have another question. Marty, what are some of the things that you've seen in the ring while officiating that make you cringe?
Green people get in the ring trying to work, and people doing way too much and doing stuff they shouldn't be doing.
I'll tell you what my biggest wrestling pet peeve is guys who are green who wrestle in Timberlands instead of wrestling boots. It's like you're already new. I get that you think it's part of your gimmick, but you're wearing work boots in the fucking ring.
They'll learn when they break their ankle, right? Like it's not. Yeah. It's not good.
But even the buckles, man. You catch somebody with the buckles the wrong way or something, it's bad news.
So what is that with the wrestling boots? Some guys wear sneakers, some guys wear boots.
Some people wear Asics wrestling shoes. Some of them wear kick pads. Some of them, whatever, a tennis shoe.
What makes a wrestling boot or shoe?
What makes a wrestling boot?
Ankle support, right? Like
ankle support. Yeah, because like the Asics, like those are legit collegiate wrestling shoes that they use in NCAA. But I mean, as far as like Timberland boots and stuff like that, not good.
Yeah, I know when Rob Van Dam broke his leg on the baseball slide back when he was in ECW, he said if he wore regular wrestling boots, that probably wouldn't have happened, but he still didn't change to regular wrestling boots.
No, man, it's just different strokes for different folks, man.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I remember there was a point in WWE where Vince wanted the referees wearing wrestling boots at one point.
What do you normally wear?
I wear Puma Sky High Tops. Puma, there you go. I'm plugging you, bro. I wear Puma shoes on Lucha Underground, brother.
You hear that? So you hear that, Puma? Get my man some shoes.
Exactly,
he's putting it out there.
Shout out to Bola entrant Puma King.
Yes.
Puma, dude. Love Puma.
And since you wear Pumas in the temple, we can have you be the new representative of the Jaguar tribe because they need someone right now.
Yeah, the Jaguar tribe is surprisingly empty right now, isn't it?
Speaking of Puma, I don't know. This is another show that I forget when they air, but they had a takeover thing that Saturday, and it was Ricochet and the Velveteen Dream.
Velveteen Dream.
Velveteen wore Ricochet's old Puma pants that he didn't
I've
wear
seen
for
that.
Lucha. Yeah,
I've
but
seen
that was
that.
so rad. But he came dressed as Hogan with the Puma pants, and if I'm not mistaken, they did like move by move for like the first like maybe 5 or so minutes of Hogan and Rock.
Of course, why
Tremendous.
wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they? That match was over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of my favorite crowds in all of wrestling in that match. Man.
Justin, two honest.
Wow. No, perfect. That's spot on. Spot on. Oh my god. And look at that. I just got followed by EV Dub on Instagram.
Hey now.
He's
Oh.
doing it. He's doing it, everybody. The boss man has gone to Instagram. I have
Do you have
I've
some
seen him
news?
today. I seen it today, and I followed him. I went, "Oh my god, he's on Instagram!" So I was like, "I got to follow him." I haven't got to follow back, but
I just got it. I think I followed him like 4 days ago.
I
Wow.
can't wait to see what he eats for lunch.
I don't know that he messes with Instagram much. He might need a tutorial from Byron, who's becoming quite the social media.
Oh,
guru.
he is
Yeah.
our social media liaison. Is that like a good word for it?
I guess so.
It's just I'm a guy who has a lot of free time.
Yeah, well, Byron has been doing the live tweeting from MMMshow during the West Coast Lucha Underground as of late.
You're on the West Coast. You live tweet the East
Coast.
Yeah. Then I do the West Coast from Florida
At like 2 a.m.
I don't know how that happened, but I guess it works. But yeah, we're on Instagram also. We're pushing the MMM Show Instagram account, MMM Show 75, keeping the brand consistent on all social medias.
All right,
If you
so-
don't follow us, by the way.
Marty, I have a question. Were you involved in Glow Season 2 that is premiering on June 29th on Netflix?
yes, I was. But I wasn't on camera this season.
No, what? You
No,
were on
I
camera?
wasn't on camera.
Oh,
camera.
Not gonna watch it.
Sorry.
I'll watch
I mean,
it. but-
I mean, as much as I would love to have been on camera, I mean, just being a part of that show is pretty cool.
So what they have you doing this year? That you were just working kind of ring technician stuff and helping them out?
Ring technician, helping him out. I actually helped him when I think it was but there was something to do with the ring, and they helped out with that, so it was cool. So
Yeah, I know. I've talked to
got to do
Chavo a
that.
couple times. He is super excited about it. I mean, if the first season is any sign, with where those ladies got to in the ring in that first season, I was pretty impressed.
Yeah.
I was pretty impressed. And, you know, if that keeps going through the second season, you guys are taking people who are not wrestlers and making them kind of wrestlers.
Yeah,
Well, that's
I
what
mean,
Glow did too, right? Like that's
Yeah.
what the original show
the
did.
original Glow did that too, man. They had actresses and models, and Chavo's uncle Mondo was the one who trained him, and you know, you come full circle, and you know, you got Chavo who's training these wonderful ladies. I mean, and it's great because these girls were so passionate about what they were doing and wanting to learn and make it, you know, look real and be, you know, they wanted to do it justice is what they wanted to do, and they did that. And when you guys see the wrestling stuff from season 2, you guys are going to be blown away.
Man, I'm glad you mentioned Mondo Guerrero because I love that man so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to buy like the Gene LaBelle wrestling hold instructional videos, and he was the guy that Gene put all the holds on. And it was they're so good. If they're on YouTube or something, like people got to look them up. I used to buy them from like Black Belt magazine. They're amazing.
That's awesome.
It's one of my favorite magazines of all time, next to Mad Magazine, of course, Casey. Don't
Yeah,
you?
Yeah,
me too.
I'm a subscriber.
Justin, did you get your Mad shirt?
Okay. So I talked to Juventud, and you see what happened
He's
with
taking
my
a
Mad shirt that I paid
What
for
happened
twice
was-
is that
Huh?
it's in Connecticut.
It is.
Juventud sent my shirt to Connecticut.
That
Oh,
wasn't even the address he had for you.
So
He sent some bits.
I've purchased a shirt from Jeff Jarrett now instead. And me and Juventud may have to have a little bit of heat. We may have to have words if we run into each other. Just saying.
Wow.
I'm a big Juventud Guerrera fan, but you know, things might have to go down. I might have to
so
see
if you would
somebody
like
can book
to
us in Tijuana for some action.
If you would like to support friend of the show Kevin Kross with a Mad shirt, you're really giving money to Jeff Jarrett, but they're available on ProWrestlingTees.com.
Exactly.
Hey, Justin, you and I have something in common with the shirt. I paid Coco Beware for 2 shirts one time, and I still haven't seen those shirts.
Oh, that's it. That's it. Tag match. Coco and Hoovy versus me and Marty. Let's make it happen.
Absolutely.
I know who's taking the pin in that match.
No. I want hybrid kickboxing rules, man. I want to be able to throw real strikes.
Okay, so battle arts rules?
Yes, battle arts rules. Perfect.
All right, let's do this.
So that's my only hope, man. Because Hoovy, how the hell old is Hoovy anyway? That motherfucker seems like he lost a step and then got back too.
Well, it's because he's a vampire, Justin, and that's why he can't ship you your t-shirt correctly, because he has to go to the post office at night when they're closed.
If you guys saw the emails involving getting this Mad shirt from Hoovy, this started like 3 weeks ago.
Do you have the address he sent it to?
Oh my god, it was so amazing.
What was your name again?
Every email I sent Hoovy, it said the address that I wanted it shipped to. And Hoovy was like, yeah, brother, don't listen to my guys. I got this. I'm going to do this myself. They don't know stuff to the States right. I got this. I do it all the time. So I'm like, oh, sweet. Hoovy is actually handling this shit. And then finally I get an email and I look at the timestamp on it and I know it's only been 4 hours since he sent it. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Because the email says, okay, brother, I got your t-shirt. I'm going to the post office right now. I'm going to mail it. This is the right address, right? Totally a different guy with a different address in Connecticut. I'm like, fuck.
And like, I want to point out that Justin's name is his email address.
It's like, and then I sent it back to him and I said, no, that's not right. My address is this and this and this. And I got a reply that said, okay, yeah, that's fine, brother. We got it taken care of. And then yesterday, I'm like, Hoovy, what's up with my shirt? And he's like, oh, bro, I sent that to Connecticut.
Write a letter to the Connecticut dude.
Like, motherfucker.
I tried to. I was going to order the masks, wasn't I?
Yeah, I told Hoovy Meatloaf is not going to buy your $300 worth of masks now because we're afraid you're going to never ship it to him.
He's going to ship it to Idaho.
Sorry, that's tremendous. That's my tangent for the day. So yeah,
Falmouth, Jamaica.
I mean, those shirts are so cheap in Mexico anyway. I don't really care as long as I get one eventually. But
I'm sure you will
get one.
I hope Jeff Jarrett doesn't send you it.
Oh God, if he does, I hope he sends it to me with him wearing it and his Hall of Fame, thing next to it.
He's gonna sell you some gold.
He'll be like, Justin, I'm sorry for the problems Hoovy gave you. Here are some light up JJ glasses.
I have faith in Jeff Jarrett. I think that Jeff Jarrett has turned a corner. Do you guys not think that?
No, honestly, I have faith in Jeff Jarrett, but Pro Wrestling Tees is the one shipping it, so you'll be fine. Don't worry.
I gotta say, I was recollecting about this today. Jeff Jarrett is kind of the one responsible for me getting into New Japan.
Oh wow,
and probably a lot of people.
Interesting.
Because he brought what was it? Wrestle Kingdom 10.
Oh yeah.
To the States.
That's true, dude. I mean, the guy's got the juice. He's got the pull.
Dude, I love Jeff Jarrett because in 2002, man, he gave me a huge opportunity. When he was doing the WWA with the Australian group out of Australia, when he did the World Wrestling All-Stars, which was
the Nathan Jones and stuff was there, right?
Yes. So they did a pay-per-view at the Aladdin, and I actually got to work with him in the main event against Brian Christopher because of Percy Pringle and I being friends from UPW. Told him who I was and stuff, and Jeff called Percy, and they put me in the main event, and it was pretty awesome, dude.
See, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Marty, what do you got coming up? You're doing bumps and bruises, is that right?
Yes, I'm doing Bumps and Bruises this Sunday. The 20. It's going to be cool to work with Bob Holly and Al Snow again, man. That's going to be fun. And just to see those guys. Just to see those guys, man. And then tomorrow they're doing a seminar out in Stanton, California, which is going to be cool. And if anybody's listening in the SoCal area, whatever, in this area, I mean, if you want to learn from two of the best, man, you need to attend this because they will tell you how it's done.
Yeah, I'm afraid of Bob Holly. I'm not going to
If any of you have read Hardcore Holly's book, you know that Hardcore Holly is a no bullshit individual.
Yeah. Like, I feel like I need a little bit of bullshit. Like Bob might keep it too real for me personally.
Bob's a sweetheart, man. I used to travel with Bob, dude, and he's a sweetheart, man. It was funny because I seen a video. I think you guys may have seen it too on the Bumps and Bruises feed on Instagram, where Bob is chopping the shit out of Sammy Callahan.
Oh
yeah,
that's OG Bob Holly right there, man.
Oh, so wonderful.
My first ever
couldn't have gone to a
live
more
wrestling
deserving
event.
guy.
Yeah. Oh man.
Alcohol on it.
I do want to recommend.
What'd you say, mate?
My very first live WWE show. It was 3 months before Owen Hart, but which was quite amazing. It was Bob Holly versus Al Snow in a hardcore match, and they went to like a steel chair, but it was from ringside in the UK, which means it's padded, with like 2-inch thick cushion. It's hilarious.
I can only imagine.
Everything went wrong. The table wouldn't break. They had a banana spot where they slipped on a banana. It was so Al Snow threw himself through the table.
Wow,
yeah, he does that. I love it.
That's tremendous. Yeah, like I can't wait to see those guys tomorrow.
I was at a local wrestling show that the Headbangers were at a couple weeks ago, and they were doing a hardcore match and throwing chairs around, but they were plastic ringside chairs that were also padded. And I was a little bit like, they're plastic padded ringside chairs. The Pope was wrestling against them. He smashed Thrasher over the head with it and busted him open like hard way, like 3 inches. He had the big old gash.
Oh, not cool.
Those kindergarten chairs don't play, man. Like AWS used to use those chairs all the time when Bart was doing the shows in the parking lots, and you get one of those thrown at you, and it's not fun.
No.
I like the heavy chairs, but I mean, it can't be worse than the New Japan tables.
No, those Japanese tables are built to last. Oof.
Solid oak.
Wait, Casey, did you know that Triple H is wrestling The Undertaker in Australia?
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
You want to know bigger news? The Undertaker's on Instagram posting selfies backstage at concerts.
And it is legitimately him because Michelle McCool has verified that it is The Undertaker on Instagram, which...
Oh, wow.
That is mind-blowing to me.
Mm-hmm.
This is so crazy. So has he cut the hair yet? I thought he wanted to be done with this shit so he could cut the hair.
Dude, he can do what he wants with his hair. We've seen that no matter what the Undertaker does with the hair, the power remains within him. He's not Samson. The urn is there in spirit because he doesn't want to carry it because someone will steal the urn, so he doesn't need to keep it with him at all times, but he's got the power within him. Undertaker's my favorite wrestler of all time.
God bless him.
He did lose to Sting.
I want to retire like some of these guys. Can I have that kind of retirement? Like when we do episode 100 of the show, can I just fucking retire and then get paid even more money to do the show and like only do it
in Australia? Get to do it in Australia and in Abu Dhabi and stuff.
Yeah, and retirement is amazing. I love it. All right, Byron, you got anything else from the chat room for Marty?
Let's see. We got
lots of love for Marty in the chat for sure.
Lots of love.
Oh wow, thanks. Thanks, guys.
Even more hyped for Glow. People are super stoked about Glow.
Yeah.
They should be. Marty's going to be everywhere this summer. He's going to be on the Contender on Epix. He's going to be in Lucha Underground on El Rey. You got Glow coming to Netflix. Marty has been working his butt off for a year where you haven't seen him, so he can capitalize on this next 4 months where you do see him.
Yes, and I'll be on Access TV with WoW as well.
Oh, that's
Just
awesome.
hooked that up.
Oh yes, that
Yeah,
just got
so-
announced. Yeah,
It did.
I was talking to David McLean during Lucha Underground about this stuff, and then to get on board with that, and then to see the announcement, I was like, right on. So yeah, I'll be part of that too.
Tell
yeah.
David to call me. I know he needs a couple more producers.
Yeah.
Okay.
I told EV Dub to tell David to call me too. So
I
behind
have to pass along that all of the fans that are on this message board I go to are huge fans of Caged Heat of WoW. And if I didn't say that, they would give me shit for not saying it since WoW came up. So they're really hoping Caged Heat is in this new season.
Of WoW?
Yeah, because they were on the original. So they're kind of
okay.
Yeah, they're big fans.
You have
And
to
Riot,
wait and see.
yeah.
Have to wait and see, man.
We're
Yeah, I
looking
don't know
forward
what
to it.
David's
Yeah.
total
Cool.
roster
Marty's-
is like. I know
and
he's got
Marty,
a couple of stars, but
Speaking
I'd love
of,
to see David bring in a few of the top any names that are still out there and available. I think there's a
Yeah.
couple that he could snatch up that would really kind of push it over, but I'm not going to say that out loud. He can call me and I'll tell him.
yeah, you got to do some digging. You got to know what's going on because
I'm sure Marty already knows him. Marty's already like, dude, we got them. They're already good. They're gone.
Well, hey, like I said, man, I just show up to places and count 3, bro. That's it, man. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
You're coming on our podcast to start kayfabing us
Now, and I don't know if you can or answer this or if this knowledge is even out there yet anywhere or if they even know, but are they going to try to do WoW around the clock all year, or are they going to try to do it like tapings more like Lucha Underground?
I haven't been told anything about tapings or scheduling yet. I just know dates, and that's pretty much it. So I don't know what the format's going to be. But I hope they do it every week. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things too about Lucha Underground. It's like, damn it, if there was just a way, if there was some way, like for them to go to almost the Impact kind of schedule of, tape once or twice a month and just keep it going all year round, that'd be so awesome. But at the same time,
it would be.
At the same time, maybe it wouldn't be though, because maybe that would take away from the being able to write a more grandiose storyline that really works with a bigger vision. Because when you start doing that week to week thing, it's like you start reacting to the audience more. You start kind of hot-shotting stuff or playing to what's hot for the moment instead of just really doing what DJ does, which is writing your stories, committing to it, zigging when you have to zig and zag, because I know he got hit with a few of those this season.
Oh, yeah. More than one.
I mean, look, it's no secret that several talent that DJ was hoping to get his hands on, that he was writing to get his hands on, were not available to him at very inopportune moments, which just sucks. I can't even imagine being in his shoes when EB Dub calls you up like, hey, those 3 guys that you wrote that bit for, they're not coming this weekend.
Yeah, and to be honest, like there was stuff already written. There was stuff written. Stuff had to be rewritten like that morning. So yeah, not cool.
Yeah. I saw the looks on their faces on a couple of those days where it's just like, oh, I'm sorry, bro. So don't blame the producers for everything, guys. Sometimes shit just happens. That's not.
Yeah, shit happens, man. So that's what you do. So yeah, man.
Hard subject to change.
Hey, that's why it's always in that fine little print, man. So
here's my last question for you, Marty.
Sure, man.
We've seen some new talent now on the second episode. We've now seen Sammy Guevara. We've seen Jake Strong, our buddy Jack Swagger. And of course,
Justin, don't forget Big Bad Steve. He's new to us, okay?
He is a great bass with a working zipper now.
He is a true mechanic.
He also has his head on. He has a good head on his shoulders, Justin.
Finally,
sure does.
But so what did you think? What do you think about these guys? I mean, I think the Jake Strong debut was a big deal. I mean, that definitely had the internet buzzing this week. Some positive, some negative. Most seem to be pretty intrigued by it, if nothing else. What was your thought on bringing in those guys?
It was great because you give guys like this a different platform to shine, and you give them a different audience. I think that there's a place for that, and he is there doing it. And, you know, the storyline, you know, of course, DJ and Roach are amazing as far as what they're doing. You know, by the time Ultimate Lucha Cuatro airs, I mean, people are going to see why. And it was just great having him in there and working with him too, and knowing what he can do. And it just gave him an opportunity to do something different for him. Yeah, and it helps Lucha Underground.
I think so too. And it's weird because a lot of people were like, we need more luchadors, less white dudes from, you know, pro wrestling in America. But at the same time, if you're gonna get one of those, why not have it be Jack's fucking Swagger? I mean, the guy, and it's so funny too, because in the ring he seems so tough and so mean, and after you talk to the guy for like 3.5 seconds, it's really hard to imagine him being that mean, awful, tough, badass guy. He is so fucking nice.
Yeah, he's cool. He's a cool dude, man. And you know, I remember when he first came in developmental, man. A young little skinny kid named Jake who walked into Bildemont's class. I still remember that day. You know, that was cool. And to see him where he is today, man, I even told him, dude, this is great, man. I'm enjoying it. So that was cool to see that.
He has come a long way. So what about Sammy Guevara? Do you see him getting where he has the potential to get to? I mean, he's good looking guy. He's got the high flying moves. He's certainly got the physique. He's in great shape. Do you think he's got the mental goods to really get to the top of the game?
He's still young. You know, he still needs a lot of grooming and work and stuff. Does he have potential? Of course he does, you know. And he's just going to get better with more experience and exposure and things of that nature. I mean, hopefully, you know, he doesn't hurt himself doing what he does and stuff. But, you know, that's where wrestling is today. And, you know, just wish him all the best. I'm glad he's a part of Lucha Underground. You know, we can groom him. We can showcase him to the world, and you know that's just going to help him get more bookings or whatever. But you know, it's good to have him there. You know, it was funny because I'd never met Sammy before, and when he came in his first day, he was wearing one of his shirts, and I think one of his shirts says, "I'm the best" or something like that. It's his logo or something.
Right.
It says, "I'm the best" or something
ever.
like that.
Best ever.
Okay, the best ever. Okay. So I seen his shirt and he's sitting in the locker room, and I go up to him and I go, "Best ever, huh?" And I went, that's funny. I said, because I think the best ever is working at NXT right now, retired, and walked away.
I
love it.
I'm a little slow on that one. Is that the other guy who does the 630? They have a little bit of a Twitter beef over the 630s.
No, it's HB Shizzle, brother. HBK.
The heart.
Is he coming out of? Oh, okay. He's the best. Yeah.
You know, now
is he coming out? Is he doing one more? Is he doing one more?
Who? HBK?
No, HBK.
Yeah, he. By the way, he was training.
Nobody knows the answer to that question, Byron. You know that, right? HBK doesn't even know the answer to that question.
He knows, and he says
Marty knows, and he's going to tell us.
Sean says no, but let's see what Marty says.
Yeah.
I say no.
Oh,
thank you.
I don't know. I was at that Emmys for your consideration thing for WWE, and Sean came out, and it really does not seem like that's where his head is at. I just can't see him doing it.
Yeah. I mean, well, he was a part of putting together and training Velveteen Dream and putting together that match. I mean, that has to be a lot of fun for him without breaking his back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think he's having fun. He's grooming these new kids. He's got his office position where he still has some say. Like, would you go back?
I think Velveteen even did like a HBK shuffle at one point. Just a little shout out to him.
Nice.
I love it.
But here's my thing. There'll only be one HBK in this business, man.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah. And he's still around and kicking.
Yes, he is.
He's still doing the damn thing. Well, Marty, it was great to have you on, brother. Thank you so much for swinging through tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you, Marty.
Lots of fun.
Don't forget to check out Glow. Don't forget to check out The Contender. Don't forget to check out Lucha Underground. Don't forget to check out WOW. Don't forget to check out Bumps and Bruises on Sunday and the seminar tomorrow. Like, this dude fucking works hard for it, guys. He works for it.
You selling shirts too, Marty?
Yeah, I got some new shirts that, you know, I dabble in that stuff. I mean, it's not like people are, you know, breaking down the door to buy a Marty shirt versus a Pentagon shirt, but, you know, I got them. And you know, if people want them, you know, they want them. If they don't, I'm cool with that too, man. But I do have them. Yeah, but I'll have them at Bumps and Bruises, by the way. So, you know, I'll have them there.
So get out to Bumps and Bruises. That's downtown LA, right? Sunday?
Yeah. Yes. At the Boomtown Brewery.
Boomtown Brewery. That's right.
Yeah.
Jim Velasco, our other co-host that is not here tonight, is going to be there. I might try to swing through, especially since the MavPro event that I was supposed to go to tomorrow got canceled, sadly. But it is what it is. So again, Marty, thank you so much for stopping by, brother. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you guys.
Whole crapola to get in here.
Hey, can I plug my social media real quick, man?
Yes.
Plug away, brother.
Okay. Twitter. I changed my handle. So my handle on Twitter is @TheFirstElias. It's spelled out TheFirstElias. And
you can find that down below the description right there on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, I put that link in there. So follow Marty on.
And Instagram is @MartyElias67, and Facebook is just good old Marty Elias.
You got it, brother. You know where to find the man. You know what the man is doing. Thank you so much for stopping by, Marty.
Appreciate you guys. Marty, my pleasure, man. You too, guys. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Cheers.
Now I'm interested because Marty actually sparked a discussion in the chat over who everyone's favorite of all time is.
Yeah.
And
also,
I think
the idea of a pantsless ref went way over with everyone.
Yes, which you saw Sean do during the Bret Hart versus Undertaker match, where Undertaker was robbed of his world championship.
Yeah. It's interesting though. Speaking of official or referee Shawn Michaels, Austin Aries also uses the gimmick of bringing a banana to the ring.
Sorry.
Yeah, well, you know, Colonel Robert Parker brings a jump rope to the ring, apparently.
I bring a jump rope made out of eggplants. So who's your favorite ever of all time, Byron?
Sammy Guevara, because his shirt told me. No, I don't.
I would love, you know, if gimmicks worked that good, the wrestling world would be amazing.
I didn't know it, but I guess it's Sammy.
The Constable Baron Corbin gets an actual badge, like just because it's on his shirt.
He's got a Constable has a good government job.
It's that weird funky hat because his gimmick says
Constable. It's a spin-off show.
Oh man, it's hard. I mean, it's hard to say who my favorite is because I had a clear and defined favorite up until
we know who your clear and defined favorite is. We know it's Chris Benoit. It's okay, Byron.
Not anymore.
It's no, because see, you're saying because of the thing that happened at the end.
Yeah,
that he wasn't your favorite for the 7 or 8 years before that.
Well, you know something, Justin. Byron can't really decide who his favorite wrestler is, so he can go ahead and share Casey's if he likes.
Mick Foley? Is that you?
No, this isn't Mick Foley. Mick Foley's mother is a whore.
It's Percy Pringle.
I'm just an old man, Justin. Even older than yourself.
Brother Love?
Terrible. Terrible.
Look at his giggle. Justin has the best giggle.
Justin, did you like seeing me in my tidy whities during Beyond the Mat? Good morning.
Sorry.
Good morning, Justin.
The drink almost came out of my nose.
Did you know that on the high definition transfer you can see a bit of my scrotum, Justin? Couple gray hairs in there. Nothing to be ashamed of.
Oh my god. We get the best guests on this show, guys. If you ever had any doubt, it's right here on MMMshow. Beefloaf, I won't even ask, so I already know the answer to your question is.
What is it? What is my answer?
His answer. No, his answer's Raven, dude. Raven. I know that.
Oh,
Raven.
Oh, Raven's awesome.
Raven Who better than awesome. Canyon?
Oh, Canyon. Rest in peace.
Oh, we love that man.
Canyon rules.
Tortured soul.
Mine's probably Jerry Lynn.
Ooh.
What kind of shit is that, Justin? His mother is a whore.
How do you feel about Dusty Rhodes guest?
It's terrible.
Dusty Rhodes is an egg-sucking dog. And let me tell you something. Byron Turk wants to be a real Florida cracker. Well, let me show you what it means to be a real Florida cracker, Byron.
It's so amazing because I feel like I can hear his knees getting more brittle every time he speaks.
I feel him just throwing left-handed haymakers like he's not even working a wrestling match.
Listen here, Justin. I don't even have knees. It's shin to thigh, baby. The only padding I got inside my knees is my giant testicles dragging behind me.
It's totally degenerated. I have notes and things that we need to cover and discuss, but how do you get?
I could talk like this forever, forever.
God damn.
Oh God, I need to stop because
I do like Naito a lot. He's probably one of my favorites. Naito. I like a lot of the New Japan guys. I miss Shibata. Terry, what do you think about Shibata
bread?
I don't know what shit bastard is. I don't know. Shit. How about the time that Abdul the Butcher stabbed me in the arm in Japan, huh? How about you talk about that when you're talking about your Puroresu Den?
Puroresu. Amazing. All right, okay. We got to get through a couple of three things, and I want to do it relatively quickly. I do want to talk.
I have like 2 hours of Antonio Cueto impressions to do.
Well, let's get to them because last week we had some things to say. There were some people, by the way, and fuck them, that had some things to say about some things that I had to say, and double fuck them. Look, here's the thing, guys. My opinion is not always going to be reflected by what people want my opinion to be. I know people think I'm a baby face because I shill a lot for Lucha Underground, but in fact, if you go back into the early days of this show, we didn't get a lot of traction from the Lucha Underground people initially with this show because we did have more criticisms than the other people.
Yes, we did.
Even J-Man and Urban, God bless them, who aren't afraid to speak their minds now, definitely did not talk a lot of shit about Lucha Underground back then. No one did, unless they were completely bashing it altogether, Cornette.
Honestly, you weren't talking shit. You were being honest. And the people that were talking shit about you talking shit are like, they deleted the tweets.
Yeah, I never saw them.
Yeah, it was quick.
It's like if you're gonna be an asshole, at least be resolute about being a fucking asshole. You know what I mean? Just come on.
Yeah, I mean, I think
compared to me
it's
and Casey,
pretty...
you were quite middle of the road. You know what I mean? Me and Casey were.
I think it's pretty obvious, though.
Or Howard Finkel. Fuck, man, that guy said all kinds of shit.
I just get shit for it more because people, they see me live tweeting the show. I try to be more positive during the live tweeting of the show because I'm excited about it. I want to get other people excited about it, but the podcast is always has been where you will hear my real thoughts and opinions. I don't tweet a lot of my opinions about it. I DM people constantly about it. And people who reach out to me and send me a message or whatnot, they know what my thoughts are. And if you listen to the show, you know what my thoughts are. And I think it was a very highly rated episode. And I thank everyone for watching that, by the way. Our show last week probably had one of the highest live listenerships during the show, one of the biggest chat rooms we've had. So, I think people were just surprised that coming from me. I'm a generally affable guy, and I tend to say a lot of nice things, and I tend to be very even-keeled about things. But I had some giant fuck yous for last week's episode, damn it. I just did. And they weren't unjustified.
No.
And they also, and look, guys, DJ's a big boy. Please don't ever doubt that DJ will tell me to fuck off on his own. He will pull up his fucking drawers and put on his pants one leg at a time and get right up in my face and say to fuck off if he doesn't like something I have to say about his fucking show or his work.
No, both DJ,
he's got no problem saying it.
Yeah, DJ and Roach have done that on this show, basically. But to both of us, because Lord knows I've given them both a lot of shit, but I do it with the love, the LOVE.
I will also say this: that's many of the criticisms that you heard on the show from me last week. I gave directly to DJ after that first taping, you know, when he was feeling like it was a little bit off. And I gave him the good stuff and the bad stuff because there was still a lot of good stuff and there was still hope. And what I was hoping for out of that was exactly what he was hoping for, exactly what EV Dub was hoping for, which was, fuck, let's get this straightened out and give these guys and ourselves the show that we want, because that wasn't the show that we wanted, and that wasn't the show that they wanted. That wasn't the show that anybody wanted.
Ooh, I got breaking news, you guys. And this is something that Casey wants very, very much. The CMLL show that's happening, Phoenix just challenged Cavanario to a singles match for next week, and he accepted.
You mean King Phoenix, Arizona?
Yes, King Phoenix versus Cavanario, the wrestling caveman, shoot caveman that became a professional wrestler. Wait,
Clay Guida's a wrestler now?
They kind of look a lot alike, actually. Yeah,
I got my own breaking King Phoenix news. He did a springboard flippy spinny thing, landed on a dude, and then as he was coming down, he finished his rotation and face planted into the railing.
Ooh.
That doesn't sound
outside
good.
The ring.
Is it as bad as the Jody Fleisch gif that I sent you guys?
I don't know.
No, can't be.
Love Jody Fleisch.
Ooh, and Rob Viper says, big test for Cavanario. Can he keep up with one of the best wrestlers in the world next Friday? We shall see. I'm calling in sick for the show next Friday, guys.
Oh, damn it. We might be moving to Thursday anyway. It depends on when our guest is available. So anyway, yeah, with the show, I don't want to harp on last week too much. Let's call it this. I felt like it was a good preseason.
Jesus. I saw the GIF. I'm sorry. It's not that bad.
Well, still, he goes face first into solid service.
I felt like last week was the preseason, and this week should have been episode 1. This week's episode was phenomenal. I kind of compare it to the beginning of season 3 in the fact that, you know, the first couple of episodes were okay, and then you got to that WMD match early in the season, which I think was actually in episode 2. It was just like, whoa, this is what the show really is.
Yeah.
And this week was no different. You got the vignettes that you wanted, you got the in-ring action that you wanted, the pacing, the timing, everything was right. This episode, I can tell you, was not nearly as massaged in the edit as the first episode either.
Except for the sound effects, right? Because
they got to work on that.
No, well, here's the thing about the sound effects. It's intentional. It's as intentional as the color saturation, Byron.
Oh, yeah.
It is wham, blow, pow, old school 50s comic book style on purpose.
I like how when you did that, you changed colors on my screen. Like your whole thing went orange. It was amazing.
But speaking of the color saturation, in addition to the format of the show and the content of the show and the quality of the content of the show, visually, it looked like the show again. It seemed like just the way that the color grade was, the way the colors were. It's, you know, there's different colors in the ring, but everything looked similar how it did before. It got dark again where it was supposed to be dark, you know. And the last one, it didn't look as saturated as it just looked like a little bit brighter. It didn't look as polished. Like it was kind of a rough cut all around, you know, in all aspects. And this one, it looked like the old show.
Yeah, it did. It felt good. It felt better. I think when they were editing this, UW and the guys had more time to focus on it than they did on the first episode. And I think it just came out good. So I want to talk a little bit about it, but before we get into the actual specifics of the episode, Byron, do you want to regale us with a little bit of what the Vanilla Ice experience was like that day? Because I know we talked about it a little bit with Marty, but I really think that you and Rob, I mean, I know it wasn't necessarily you, Rob wanted to come, but brought the morale at the temple back up to where it should have been. I mean, I never thought so many people would be so happy about Vanilla Ice, but And I never thought that he would actually spend the time that he did walking around taking pictures with people. I thought we were going to have to shoo him off into some hole in the VIP or whatever, but he kept wanting to wander out and take pictures with people and go into the locker room and hang out and hang out and talk with Vampiro. Like, he was all about it.
Yeah, it's something that I've since season 1 of Lucha Underground. I went to tapings and I would go to the first Ultima Lucha and then fly back straight from the temple to go work on the show wearing the same clothes, and I'd be talking about it. And he's loved pro wrestling. He's good friends with like Chris Jericho. He wrestled a Juggalo wrestling match with Pondo and got the staple dollar bills. He loves onto him. He loves the whole thing. And I showed him some highlights, and he totally dug it. He totally dug, Angelico's leap, and he would tell people about it. That's how I really knew that he was into it, because he would constantly bring it up and show people. And, he's a very busy man, and the tapings only happen at certain times. It never really lined up until this one weekend. He ended up going to LA for business with family and friends. And the taping was that weekend. And so I brought it up to him, and he was into it. And it kept working. It kept working. And finally, he's like, yeah, I'll go. So then I get him a reservation. I mean, I don't really know. Stuff can always come up. And we didn't really know until he showed up. That
I was standing next to you, and I was feeling like, man, this could still not happen at any point in time. Like, until he's actually walking into the temple, there's no telling if he's actually going to be here.
But the thing is, the day before, buzz was going on. Like, we didn't want to, I didn't want to jinx anything, but there was buzz. Like, DJ came up and talked to me. It's like, I'm hearing rumors. DJ talking to me is a big deal because
he hates you.
He's a very small-minded person.
He hates Byron. Hates him with a passion.
When it comes to opinions about me, he's very small-minded. He's very smart in other regards, though. But he actually was friendly, although he thanked Justin for Vanilla Ice, not me for some reason.
Oh yeah, he thanked me in private as well.
But
he thanked me for it as well.
I think he thanked me in front of like the whole production staff too for bringing Ice.
But well, good for him. That'll definitely help him see Vanilla Ice again. And the thing,
I mean, he knows that thanking me is as good as thanking you.
Yeah, so
we're connected somehow.
I mean, whatever.
Somehow it happened.
Whatever.
No, go ahead.
He could go write another story about Sexy Star being world champ. Go have fun, DJ.
Oh, that's a low blow,
so,
man.
5 stars, Byron. 5 stars.
So I'm working an audience of 1 right now. So the thing is, Vanilla Ice's real name is Rob. He'll introduce himself to you as Rob. And one thing that I've really noticed, because if we're out or we're out shooting somewhere in public, people know him, people go up to him, because Ice Ice Baby is a song that just everyone loves and everyone knows. And because Cool as Ice is a cinematic masterpiece. Let's not forget that. And Ninja Turtles too.
Yes, of course.
He's one of the coolest. He's one of the redeeming factors of that movie.
Him and Kevin Nash, yeah.
Him and Kevin Nash. But you see him, he's so gracious and so friendly with people, with fans. And he has this thing he says at concerts, smiles are contagious. And you could really see that this weekend, where everyone is super tired and a little bit down from the first night of filming. The second day, Rob showed up. There's a VIP parking lot. There's a VIP area. Rob walks in the front door. People are respectable, and everyone there, thank you everyone at the temple for being respectable towards Rob and towards his family. Everyone was super nice, but every person that came up to Rob, he talked to, took pictures with. I mean, everyone, security, fans.
Whoa. Not everyone. There was a small oversight, and it is probably my fault. You know who did not get to meet Rob or get a picture?
Who?
You're not going to believe this. Fucking Mel.
Oh,
Thunder Rosa, no. Cobra Moon, our home girl, the one girl who should have been at the front of the line,
Yeah.
Did not get to meet Rob at all. And I feel like it's my fault somehow. I think
got booked in Florida, so buy him from Taker.
We even got Eva Lisa picture.
Well, you know what? If you're in Florida, yeah. Come by the house.
Let's tell that story.
Nope.
Meatloaf wants to become a Florida cracker.
I already am
you're not invited.
Yeah,
you're not invited. But if you wanna,
I got a free home in Florida.
Meef has strong Florida ties.
Shut up, Meef. Meef, you're not invited. You're uninvited. Your visa's revoked. So it was super cool. It was super cool. He even went into the locker room and met a bunch of the wrestlers backstage. There were some people who just weren't there or were, I don't know, busy somewhere else. Didn't get to meet them, unfortunately. But it was just super rad. Little known fact, Vampiro and Vanilla Ice are juggalos, and they have crossed paths some time ago before you know, I think Vampiro really made it big, and they have a lot of respect for each other. One day at lunch,
wait. Was Rob opening up for Milli Vanilli?
No, I don't.
Because that would be amazing if that was how they knew each other.
No, I'm not exactly sure, and you're gonna have to get the story from Vampiro. We did get the story that day, but I just remember I was at lunch with Rob.
Oh, hold on! I gotta ring the bell. I don't have the bell. Ding, 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 ding. New subscriber.
Ring the bell.
Oh my God! The new subscriber is Kevin Flynn, who has listened to this show more than anybody. He just normally listens on SoundCloud.
You just subscribed, Kevin. Thank you. I appreciate it, and I respect you.
He was our second subscriber ever on SoundCloud.
So, so we're talking about stuff, and he sort of brings up this guy that he knows, this guy who does Lucha Libre or wrestling from the Juggalo thing, and it's Vampiro, and I'm like, Vampiro's the man. He runs like he's one of the top guys at Lucha Underground. Rob plays me a voicemail that he still has from Vampiro. Like he still has it on his phone. Like that's how like tight they are. And it was so cool. And before the show, they got to talk and really catch up. And then Vampiro hyped up the crowd like he normally does. But he just started on the story about how he and Rob met and how just Rob was one of like the few people that he really respected, that was real, that treated him with respect when he didn't have to. And meant a lot to him. So he brought him into the ring. They had a really great moment. The roof came off the place, and
this you didn't see on the show,
right?
We sit down in our seats, and we had kind of a section of the bleachers, the VIP bleachers or whatever, and we tried to give Rob the front row or whatever, but he was like, "No, I'm just gonna tuck back here." So he sat in the row back, and then we're all just sitting there and starting to get amped up. And then Vampiro comes out and he does one of his sly little approaches where you don't know that who he's talking about or what he's talking about, which he's done to me before. He's done to several other people. He just kind of comes out and says, vague things like, this motherfucker's been down since day one and blah, blah. I had no clue he's talking about. And then he's just like, Rob, come out here, get in the ring. We look back at Rob, and the next thing you know, Rob jumped over the rail on the over the side, and dude might look young, but he ain't that fucking young to be jumping over some shit at the temple.
I've seen him
in the fucking ring. It was amazing.
You should watch my show, Justin. He jumps over.
Okay, he does. I mean, he is very youthful for a guy older than me.
Damn, are we sure? Are we sure that we don't want to get slander here?
Yeah.
No, Rob's older than me by like 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, he fucking jumped off the bleachers to go see Vampiro in the ring.
That rules so much.
I mean, just him doing that, everyone got super pumped. It was great.
Oh shit, his birthday's on Halloween. That's dope.
His birthday's Halloween. Yeah, that's his favorite holiday of the year.
Mine too. And
there was an Ice Ice Baby chant because obviously Rob loves Lucha Underground, and he got everyone hyped up for the show. I mean, he just walked in the ring and he was a natural.
Hold on a
And,
sec. Hold on. Meef, this is Phantasma. Are you dreaming about me again?
I'm just leaning back. I'm just leaning back.
Just making sure.
And
Yeah,
it
no
was
worries.
so
We know it's
cool.
5 in the morning up in that motherfucker.
It was
You ain't gotta lie to
so
us.
cool. It was a great time. Everyone got super hyped, and when Rob got back into his seat, it like that positive energy, the kind words that Vampiro said, and the positive energy from the crowd, you know, that all meant a lot to him. You know, he's been around a while, and he's seen a lot of stuff, but he's not so jaded like that this doesn't mean something to him. He had genuinely, him and his family had a great time. They were touched by the love that Lucha Underground showed him. And I want to thank everyone again from Rob and me and Vanilla Ice Project. Thank you. It could not have gone better. And plus, he got to see Pentagon defend championship, so that was kind of cool.
And none of you will ever see it because feel-good moments have no place in my temple.
Oh man, Papa Cueto.
He just showed up.
This
He
fucking
finally
guy.
got off of Twitter and logged on to
I
Hangouts.
finally got off of my day job as a skipper of the Jungle Cruise, as evidenced by my clothes and office.
Why did it take you 4 days to follow me and like 30 seconds to follow Mil Machetes? Fuck you, Papa Cueto.
I don't know how I am killing my gimmick by following Mexican people, but
Oh no, I think Mil Machetes is part Spanish.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
You
That's
did a good job this week, Papa Cueto, by introducing one luchador for 2 white people.
Okay, we're gonna get to that. Let's talk about this episode because I do want to talk about.
oh, but you
The,
see, it was a very large white man.
Yeah. I mean, does Famous B deserve some of the heat too? Let's find out here. All right,
Famous
so
rules.
this week, we've got some interesting things. We start off hot with Katrina, or very cold, I guess, judging by seeing Katrina. It was really, really, really cold in
It's the
Cuerno's
ice
trophy room.
I know what you mean. It's oh yeah, it wasn't in the ice temple. It was in Cuerno's trophy
No.
room. Yeah.
Apparently, the trophy room is a much colder place because
Her wardrobe choice this year is very interesting. You know
well,
what?
I thought it was the Grindhouse 3D thing. Like I thought they were trying to gimmick it up by making the show 3-dimensional.
There were no suspenders in season 4.
No, there weren't. Anyway, Katrina shows up, and Meef's boy. Look, Meef came back to life, guys. Meef's boy, Cuerno, got lines this time.
And he
Like
swore. He said shit.
Yeah. He got to talk. He got to curse. He sounds great. Why haven't they had this fucking guy talking on camera more sooner?
And hold on, did he? Okay, this is what I want to. You know, when she tried to get the glove and it wasn't there, Meef, did he say that he gave it to the strong one for safekeeping?
He gave it strong.
Didn't that?
No,
Isn't that what he said?
He gave it to someone for safekeeping, and he doesn't know where that person put it is in a place or time.
He doesn't know where or when.
Where or when?
Yeah,
Right.
Come on, it's a little bit more poetic than the bullshit you just
Well,
said.
look, and if you've seen the trailer, if you've seen you've seen the scene where he takes the gauntlet and gives it to Aerostar to basically go and hide it in time somewhere. It's a total Zemeckis moment.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of time travel movies because the Terminator's bullshit. You can't send a guy back in time to be your own dad. That's fucking stupid, man.
Look, forget the Terminator.
When you fantasy booked the Lucha Underground episode, it was centered around time travel.
That's
how else are you gonna get a fucking caveman in the temple realistically?
Okay,
realistically.
First of all time travel that's worth anything involves a phone box, a phone booth, whether it's Bill and Ted's or Doctor Who. If you want real time travel, you need a phone box.
Yeah, fuck Doctor Who. Thank you, Meef. Justin, you're not talking. You're not talking to a room full of teenage girls, so we're not Doctor Who fans.
Are you kidding me? Yeah. Really? You guys have issues with Doctor fucking Who?
It says, Mister, I don't like dinosaurs. I don't like dinosaurs because they bullied me as a child, so I can't see Jurassic World. And I don't like ice cream.
I don't.
You need to see Jurassic World.
See, I like things
Everyone.
aren't bullshit. Because Doctor Who, the whole premise was there's 13 fucking doctors, and that's the end of doctors.
And then they just
They're like on number fucking 15 now.
Yeah.
And then this one, oh, the recycle started again because we can't keep an actor for more than 2 series because our TV program is shit.
Exactly. Meef, Meef is right. And also Meef should see Jurassic World. It was really good, you guys. I don't know why you're watching our show and not seeing Jurassic World is what I'm saying.
Hey, Casey, shut up. In the chat room, Andre Nichols says, Meef, you shut up too. Andre Nichols says that he loved the fantasy booking.
And that we should do a part 2?
Shut the fuck up. Listen to direction. Meef, are you
What?
me? Are you seriously
What?
me?
What?
Listen,
What?
don't desecrate this message just because it's coming from brothers from Australia. And
Price
Andre-
check on a jackass.
that we should do a part 2 on.
Let us steam
What?
it.
Oh, Justin's doing New Day. Great.
What?
Great. Really, Justin.
What?
You're gonna go the obvious route. You're gonna start eating pancakes.
Ever since you came back, all you've done is cry.
That hurt my
Meef
voice.
is gonna piss himself.
It's amazing when this show just completely breaks down.
Meef
I
is
have all these
crying
notes
right
here,
now.
these things that we're supposed to be talking about that are super duper important, but yeah, well, you know.
Anyway, Andre Nichols wants us to do another fantasy draft or fantasy booking of Lucha Underground.
Yeah, with our 17 fucking hosts that we have now, this is going to be a little difficult, but we'll try.
We don't let Meef do it.
It'll be fun.
Jim is in the gym right now, just lifting weights.
Oh, Jim is fucking scoring some steroids down in Mexico.
He's probably doing some bicep curls
Pussy
and
slide,
fucking at the
Alaska.
same time. It's a Friday night after all.
I just hope no one gives Jim problems trying to cross the border back over.
All right. So Katrina opening segment, Cuerno, awesome.
Yes.
You know what's great about Katrina on Lucha Underground? Her being super hot is now officially a plot point in Lucha Underground.
Well, we'll get there. We haven't even gotten to that scene yet, have we?
I probably was going to forget by the time we got to that
Oh
scene.
my God, you love to just jump ahead. All right, let's get to the big thing. Famous B decided, apparently, or maybe his clients decided for him, that Lucha Underground had too many Mexican luchadors, so that they were going to stay home. I mean, everyone's talking about the second half of this thing, but no one's talking about the part where Famous B lost Tejano and Wagner.
I was okay with it just then, you see, because he traded them in for one very large white man, and he is
and a car mechanic.
He is so strong, and yes, never trust a man named Chris to name your wrestlers.
I think those names are awesome.
I would like to.
You don't like the name Sammy Guevara? That's a bad name.
I would like to introduce the newest member of Lucha Underground, the former Big Calf, known as Tall Bill.
All right, so here's what I have to ask. I get the feeling that
you guys like how I list the S in Big Cass, though?
Yes.
Hey, shout out the racist fan.
Racist.
He is big and bad.
Racist.
I am a big fan of your work.
A big fan of your races. So
yeah,
Sammy Guevara got to keep his name.
Yeah.
I don't know this for a fact, but I have a feeling that somebody else did not show up, and Sammy Guevara got a phone call that morning to come and be at Lucha Underground.
Well, didn't they trademark a different Sammy name?
But that might have been after the fact. I don't know.
I thought he worked dark before this.
Not in the seasons I went to. It would have had to have been for you guys.
Did he work dark the day before?
Day one? Yeah, I think so.
Because it's weird because this was a day 2 taping. So
yeah, but I'm saying I think he got called to show up for this weekend on short notice.
Yeah.
And they didn't have a name for him, which was surprising to me. I mean, even some Impact Talent or other places that were sending people in that you'll see later in the season, those people got gimmicks. Sammy came in as Sammy Guevara. Like the kid hit the fucking lottery.
Yeah, because he can get booked under that name, and he will be, because people are going to see how fucking awesome he was in this match if they haven't seen him before, which really look up his matches. Dude, the guy's fucking insane.
Yeah, so I don't know a ton about. I mean, like, I've seen him work a bunch of times, but I don't know a ton about him personally, and I've heard mixed things. I don't know what he's really like in the locker room. I guess, you know, as you heard, kind of Marty Elias allude to, he's new, he's fresh meat, but he's also been around a little bit, and he's got a good style, and I think Marty's assessment is correct, and it's like, yeah, bro, I hope you can keep doing what you're doing and figure out the safest and best way to do those things that you're doing so that you stay exciting, but at the same time, you don't kill yourself or anyone else. Because he takes risks. He's real exciting to watch, but you know what that can lead to. I mean, you know, you got a guy like Ricochet who does the same kind of stuff, but is very safe for the most part. I mean,
I don't know who that is.
That Trevor dude. You know, the one who jumps out of the ring, does the front flip, and lands in your face.
The GIF.
But then gets the microphone, and you're like, "Nah, dude."
Yeah.
Didn't he get killed by Kross? Sammy Guevara.
Kross kills everyone.
They had a match, didn't they?
Everyone?
They had a match, didn't they?
Yeah, I think he murdered him. I think he murdered him on his face. But so yeah, I mean, I was very interested to see him come in with that gimmick. We'll have to ask one of the bosses one of these days if he was a last minute replacement or not, because
they're never going to do our show again after last week.
Oh, I think they will. If only to come on here and tell us how wrong we were. But I don't think that they will. I think,
or they might want to come on to talk to me, the real boss, or I will never let them in my temple.
And then Big Bad Steve.
Yeah.
He's a mechanic.
He's a mechanic. And come on, guys, let's be honest. For the gimmick and for what that is, the amount of pop that he got and how over that was amazing. That was ridiculous.
Because everyone knows who Steve Payne is and that he rules, man.
But I don't know if I realized that how much everyone knew. Like, I knew and I popped because it was amazing. And I was like, thank God he's out of that other gimmick.
Oh, nearly headless Steve.
I'm going to completely ruin the kayfabe here. He was Pindar, and that costume alone, I think, is the reason.
God damn it.
I don't care. I think that costume alone.
They've got technology to reverse reptilianism.
Yeah, that was the reason.
His head get cut off, and he's still wrestling.
Wait, so you're saying he's a
lizard?
Wait, so he's a lizard with like human skin? So is he like V? Is he Big Bad V? Is he a visitor?
He grew the head back, but the scales haven't grown back yet.
Right. Yeah,
like a gecko.
No, when you get your head scales, you have to become human once you get your head cut off. When you get your head and you manage to regenerate, you lose the ability to be a lizard anymore.
That's what it is. And now he's a mechanic from down the street.
Okay, if you're a mechanic though, shouldn't you be carrying like a giant wrench or a blowtorch or like something that you could hit people with? Because that's like the best part.
Too hokey.
He brought from the shop. He brought a car lift, and they're like, you can't bring that to the ring.
No, I think that he might carry a wrench at some point.
The wrench is great because they always have the fucking wrench that's getting used in the matches, like the one that Mundo wrapped around Puma's head.
No, because I'm not gonna lie though. Every time they bring them down to the ring in Lucha Underground, they're so plasticky and so fake. They don't do a good job with that particular style.
I'm sorry that fans get hit in the head and don't sell it and ruin the illusion for you, Justin.
They bounce around like it's a bouncy ball.
The problem with Lucha Underground when it comes to stuff like that is the fact that they actually have a real prop department.
Yeah, and if you guys want to hear some wrench stories, listen to our coverage of Ultima Lucha Tres.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
and yeah, I just don't. Pipes and cinder blocks and wrenches are probably not things that we need in Lucha Underground ever.
And blowtorch probably not, because Aerostar has lit the ring on fire by accident that we've seen.
Which is bad news because fire extinguisher gimmicks also don't work in Lucha Underground, as we have seen.
Oh God! Yeah. Or the time that it does, you fucking taste it.
Yeah,
I like the cinder block. I did like the cinder block thing with Mac. With his face going through. I thought that was kind of cool.
No, Mac, fine. Cage, no.
Yeah.
No.
I did like the gimmick where Pentagon held a gas can to Vampiro's face with a lighter.
Yeah, that was dope. You know what? Big Bad Steve should come in with a car door, like the whole door, and just throw people on it. That would be fucking awesome.
And
Because you
then
know
the
that hurts.
customer,
Rebecca,
the
you
customer,
do need to watch V again. There's a very fine performance by Freddy Krueger in V.
God damn it. The man's name is Robert England. You guys are horrible. They're doing this in the chat as well.
All right. So we got to talk about our man, Jake Strong. It's funny because this isn't that different a presentation, and yet it somehow feels wholly different than everything he's ever done before. And I don't quite know how they pulled that off.
It's completely different. I think it's completely different because he's always been held back as far as intensity and how much he's respected in the ring. I mean,
and now he's just a crazy man doing Pentagon's exact same gimmicks. So, because we have to have two of everything in Lucha Underground.
Well, it's the temple. There should the idea of being a violent person who likes to hurt people is.
No, it's a good idea. Yeah.
I get it, but I mean, he's kind of doing the Kurt Angle thing, except at the end of the Kurt Angle thing, he's breaking their ankles.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
I mean, I like it. Jake Strong, he's a big, strong son of a bitch who legitimately knows how to wrestle and hurt people. And they're letting him go out there and be intimidating. And that's something that I don't think anyone has let him do. And that's not his natural personality either.
I got to give you my initial thoughts of how this went down. So we're standing there. We did not know he was going to be there. He comes out and we popped, and it was like, who's that? Oh my God, is that fucking Swagger? That's fucking Swagger. And I had just seen him on Ariel Helwani's now defunct MMA Hour a couple weeks before, promoting fighting, like actual MMA fighting and doing Bellator stuff. And so I was like, I recognized him immediately. I was like, fuck, I thought this dude was doing MMA, which he still is, by the way.
And he's doing MLW also.
So then he comes down, and then my second thought is, oh man, Kross is fucked.
Yeah.
I was like, at the time, Kross was still up in the air. We didn't know what was going on with him. He was in Orlando days before then doing the WWE tryout. So I'm just like, fuck, they're not bringing in Kross now. This was going to be Kross's gimmick, I bet. And now fucking Hagar's got it. And
yeah, I thought the same thing when I heard about it. And yeah.
And we'll tell you the continuing part of the Kross saga, because there is definitely a saga. And as you've seen, everything's worked out just fine for Mr. Kross. But that was my initial thought. So then as he's coming down to the ring and Famous B is introducing him, I'm fucking pissed. I'm just like, oh, man. Fuck Jake Hagar or whatever the fuck his name is. Fuck this dude. I was not happy. And then, I got Vanilla Ice all happy behind me. And I'm like, God damn it. Stop being happy, Rob. Everybody stop being happy. This is some bullshit. More white dudes, less Kross. Like there's not going to be room left on the roster for cool white dudes because Jake's going to take it all up.
Oh, Justin, there is always room for white dudes.
And then the match happened. And two things that I absolutely loved that happened in this match. The 34 seconds of Kill Shot and Sammy Guevara.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, that needs to happen. That needs to be a 20-minute match at some point in this season. Those two guys, for just the few seconds that they were there, they clicked. I don't know how much they've worked together in the past. I know they've worked together a little bit, but they were fire. And then the presentation and how they built Jake in that match, it worked.
Yeah,
I was hating on it. I was not happy about it. I was sitting there. I was pissing and moaning. And the next thing you know, I'm smiling ear to ear. I was like, fuck you, DJ. You got me. Fuck you, Paul London, whoever agented that match. I was totally into it. I was totally buying it. And at the end, we're up in the crowd doing the strong thing and totally marking out. And as much as a lot of the Latino fans want to hate on him too, I saw a lot of those dudes, especially the first couple of times that Jake came out, doing the strong thing. Now, I'm going to tell everyone right now, a lot of the crowd turns on the Jake factor in Lucha Underground. A lot of the crowd in general turns on the amount of white dudes that are in Lucha Underground at a certain point in the season. That is not a surprise. If you haven't heard it before, you're hearing it now. Lucha Underground is a much whiter place this season.
It's a shame because it wasn't really by choice, and it's also a shame because a guy like Jack Swagger, Jake Hager, shut up, Meef, a guy like Jake Strong,
it's been going on. It's been happening.
He is a guy who, if you just as a talent, if you have an opportunity, you bring him in. This is a really just how he's being used now is great because it promotes him, it uses him in the best way that I think he could be used, and it also makes him a valuable asset that provides entertainment for Lucha Underground fans. Like it's a symbiotic relationship. It's great, and he's a top of the card kind of guy, but that gets overshadowed by the fact that they lost and they were not able to bring in Lucha Libre stars.
Well, but you're flat out replacing Dr. Wagner with Jake Strong.
And
Wagner Tejano with Jake Strong and Steve Payne.
No, Steve. It takes a Steve Payne and a Sammy Guevara to replace Tejano, and
Steve Payne doesn't count because he was already there. Like he doesn't count as a replacement. But this isn't really the right episode to shit on that yet, since we had Drago versus Dragon Azteca,
which is why it was such a great episode. So you get this kind of moment of like, okay, and then by the end of the match, everyone was buying. It was like, no, this is Lucha Underground. This is great. This works. The Famous Beast setup was good. Swagger. You could tell that Swagger was really being part of the locker room. He wasn't coming in with the "I'm a superstar from somewhere else" mentality. He was coming in with the "I am part of this family now. How do we get this gimmick over?" And I got to tell you right now, I am a complete mark for Jake Hager. I am a little bit of a mark for for Jake Strong, and I am not a mark at all for Jack Swagger.
Oh, I fucking love Jack Swagger. Damn.
I was like, but I will tell you this. I probably spent more than half of the evening of the after party at Ultima Lucha just talking to that guy, just me and him. We must have talked for probably an hour and a half. Nicest guy on the face of the fucking planet. I hope we can get him on the show. So super cool, and had no reason to be talking to me, and we were just hanging out, and it was super cool. It was a super nice guy. Anyway, so coming out of that, the part of the reason why this episode was so pitch perfect, we get Antonio coming out, and he actually gave Dario credit for the Gift of the Gods idea. We know that there's some mystical power behind the Aztec medallions. It seems like Antonio Cueto is invested in them if you look at some of the things that are going on in the background of his office. But he still gave Dario credit as being the guy that came up with this belt idea of bringing the Aztec medals together. And
it was his one good idea between appointments for colonics from beautiful, beautiful women. Do you know what a colonic is, Justin? It's when you get the shit sucked out of your ass by beautiful, beautiful women.
I love that.
I don't know where that came from.
Completely off the rails. I love it though.
Wait, what podcast are we doing right now?
We're doing Max and Dick jokes. It's all happening.
What's that have to do with getting your shit sucked out?
It's close to the dick. It's a dick joke somehow.
Oh, when I fit inside you better.
Okay, now it's a dick joke.
There it is.
There it is. So I found that was interesting that they went out of their way for him to acknowledge that at this particular moment. I also like that we're starting another Gift of the Gods right now, right here with Daj and Drago, the Dragon versus Dragon match, which Byron had a lot of fun things to say about.
And they said that he was in the Eagle Tribe, which they've never called the Eagle Tribe before. They called it the Dragon Tribe before, I think. on commentary. The coin.
Well, didn't Byron tell them that it was the Eagle Tribe before?
I don't know. Byron looks really confused right now.
I invented the Eagle Tribe, and that's where I brought in the Dragon Azteca Senior and Junior to be part of the Eagle Tribe.
It's cool.
Yeah, something like that.
I invented a lot of things.
I mean, I think they do need to clarify the tribe thing more. I've been kind of hoping that DJ would get to that of like, let's refresh the whole tribe idea and not just focus on the ones that you have people for. But I don't know if he got the talent that he wanted to do that this season. So
no, because there's still no Puma tribe person or Jaguar tribe person.
Going back to the whitewashing of Lucha Underground.
Where is Nightclaw, Byron? Where is Nightclaw?
Nightclaw is looking for something else to moonsault off of. But it is kind of hard to do the tribe storyline when you, just in all honesty, it's hard to do the tribe storylines when you whitewash Lucha Underground. Whitewash. It's just like, what tribe is Jake Strong coming from? You know, he has a storyline. He got brought in by Famous Incorporated worldwide, but
look, the
on a boat with smallpox, on a boat carrying smallpox from Ireland. There we go. That's where he came from.
Smallpox?
The smallpox tribe? Jesus Christ, that's hilarious.
Blankets, handing out blankets to the crowd and the wrestlers backstage.
That's actually super funny.
It was kind of cool to see a dragon versus dragon match.
It was a great match. There's just no two ways about it. It was exactly what you want to see. It was real lucha libre. The guys were playing it real fast and loose. You could tell they worked out maybe 4.5 things before the match, and the other 700 were done on the fly.
It wasn't exactly what I wanted to see though, because Drago didn't win.
Well, true, but
we got to see Mel.
I would, yes.
We got some Mel's booty.
Yes.
Who Vampiro said stole George Thorogood's jacket, and I don't know if you've seen George Thorogood, but that jacket would be way bigger. I'm just saying.
Oh, by the way, just to go back to the tribe thing, because Casey's probably the only other person who might know this. Would Dragon Azteca's tribe be the? I'm gonna fucking butcher this now. Quetzalcoatl?
Yeah, but do you think Matt Stryker is going to be able to say that, or Vampiro? I don't think so.
I don't even know if DJ would be able to say that. Hence why they've been the Eagle Tribe since like season 2.
Because he's more like a feathered serpent, isn't he? He's got the same headdress.
He's more of a snake, but yeah, if you guys have ever seen Q, the Flying Serpent, great cinematic masterpiece.
Right?
I mean, it's not, but it is.
It's got David Carradine.
David Carradine, love him. Rest in peace. I hope you got to jizz.
Terrible these things you get to do.
I gotta tell you, if you want to have a good laugh, look up David Carradine autoerotic asphyxiation jokes.
Yes,
they're all good.
Are they better than the Michael Hutchins ones?
I think they just changed the names.
Oh, okay, good.
I think we did one of those last week. What were we talking about in excess on the show last week?
Isn't it bad that he wrote a song called "Suicidal Blonde"?
Hey, we got Zero Cool in the chat room saying that DJ actually confirmed all the tribes in a tweet. So who knows? He may be blacked out and making up wrong things. But the Night of Aztec Warfare with animal emojis, he wrote jaguar, rabbit, eagle, reptile, rabbit, deer, and owl, which makes a lot of sense.
It makes sense that there's 2 rabbit tribes?
Well, Zero Cool
got 2 rabbit tribes,
wrote rabbit twice, or DJ wrote rabbit twice. I wouldn't put it past either one of them.
Well, Mr. Owl, how many licks does it take to get to the center of the Aztec coin?
2? 3.
There's a fucking owl tribe?
Yeah, that doesn't sound right. And also, Justin, since you know this commercial that I'm referring to, it always bothered me because that little kid's naked the whole time that's talking to the animals.
Oh my god.
And his ass is hanging out.
Pantsless cartoon people.
For commercials.
I love
Nonce cartoons.
It's like a
as the premier anti-pedo podcast. I just had to point that out.
Pedo tunes, that's what they're called now.
We just need to make a point that we are staunchly anti-pedo, and I really don't want to speak for all the other podcasts that are afraid to take a stand or announce which side they're on.
Okay,
but I think you could infer every other podcast where they stand on this issue.
Casey, you had a problem with Drago not going over here.
No, I mean, I see why for storyline purposes. I just like him more than Dragon Azteca.
Well, I think that Dad's just kind of the future, and it's time for him to hopefully get a real run. So I kind of liked it. I thought I felt like Drago being the one to do it at this point in the season was really kind of anointing Dragon Azteca as like, yeah, we teased him before, but like, hey, this season really give this guy a chance. And I think
because we made him look like an absolute bitch throughout all of season 3.
Yeah, I think that's going to change.
I hope so for his sake, because he's great, and he's been announced for Bola, or Ray Horus has.
Ray Horus, yeah. So if you guys don't know, and believe it or not, I've found that a lot of people do not know his other gimmick is Ray Horus. Phenomenal performer. They look, it's totally obvious to me, but maybe
weird,
his weird Billy Goat lip thing, but he hasn't gotten the same kind of TV time or push in Lucha Underground, so I think a lot of people just don't know yet. Anyway, yeah, so he's one to watch. What I didn't like was the aftermath of the match. Fucking Johnny Hollywood Mundo comes out and has Cobra Moon all distracted and talking to her, who's, obviously she's a little upset about the Drago loss. And this fucking homegirl Taya sneaks her from behind. What the fuck? Dirty tricks.
Best angle to sneak from.
You're saying that if you were going to sneak up behind Cobra Moon, you'd do it from behind me, Flo?
Yes.
Isn't this the lyric to Billy Gunn's theme song? The best surprises always sneak up from behind.
Yeah.
Because I'm an ass man.
I think he's more. Baby got back.
Yeah.
Plus,
ninjas don't attack from the front. Come on.
No, this is true.
I'll tell you what, though. I liked seeing that little square off with Cobra Moon and Taya. I like to see where that goes. For those who don't know, Taya and Thunder Rosa had a couple of matches on the indies that were pretty damn good.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that they bring that to the temple and let these two ladies duke it out. And I also think it'd be really good experience for Mel, too, the more time she gets with Taya, because Taya is just fucking world-class talent.
And it would be awesome to see her fucking wrestle again, since she managed all of last season.
Yes, DJ, we get it. She can manage. She can valet. She looks real fucking good. Can we have her in a match now, please? Will you? Thank you. How many times do we have to ask for her? We're begging. Put Cobra Moon in the ring. If she botches, let her botch. We'll laugh at her.
I want to see her slap the taste down of Johnny Mundo's disrespectful mouth.
Did you say taste?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
My way.
Slap the Ricky Mandel out of him.
Oh wow.
Oh wow. He legally changed his name to Ricky Mundo.
I like that kid.
Oh, sorry.
That kid's growing on me. I don't know how that gimmick's going to turn out this season. We'll see. Anyway, so we get another vignette. Katarina, God damn it. Katarina and Katrina have me so mixed up with my Katrina Arenas. Anyway, she teleports into Antonio's office. We get our first real look at the new office. A very profile-y shot, not the same filming style we're used to. And Byron, we walked that set. We were told it was just as big, if not bigger, than the old office set, but it felt smaller while we were on the set to me.
Do you know why it feels smaller, Justin? Because of my huge dick.
I don't know. I think because it was a set piece, they were
Why do the ghosts interrupt me when I'm trying to jerk off, Byron?
I think they had more room to film in there as opposed to that one office that was like an actual room at the old temple.
Yeah. I don't know.
So I think, but Yeah. So what's interesting is that Katrina being super hot is a plot point in Lucha Underground.
Hey, you remembered to bring it back, you dumb fuck.
I remembered. Why am
So
I
proud
so
of you.
dumb?
So proud of you.
Anyways,
look,
it was
there's
great.
there's more important things in this scene than that, Byron. Like, first of all,
My huge dick.
Katrina's outfit.
Antonio is finishing a Modelo. I mean,
I was finishing something, Justin.
You know,
You thought
Antonio,
that was
I
a
don't
walking
want to. Listen, Antonio, I know you're trying. I know you know what I'm gonna say. And you're trying to stop me from talking about it, but I think I was probably the first one and probably the only one to notice this. He seemed a little strained in breathing. A little
I
bit.
don't disagree with you. And on second viewings, at the very beginning,
I was about to jizz.
He seems to be.
Almost he had a recent injury.
He seems to be clutching his stomach a little bit, like he had.
Can I change the subject real quick to something completely unrelated?
I was tucking my boner into the waistband.
No, we're almost finished with the
Hold on.
scene. Then you can
Hold
change
on.
the subject. Okay, go ahead.
Just to something completely unrelated. Do you remember where Dario was shot?
Belly?
Oh. Okay, we could go back.
Okay, yes. So I don't know. We can talk about this because I think that, okay, last week I was absolutely convinced that the Antonio Cueto thing was legit, that he was the dad, that Dario was dead. But then this week, between the very beginning of that scene and the very end, the way that he clutches his stomach and is kind of holding himself like he's been wounded and he's getting up and using the cane, felt like, oh, shit, well, maybe this is shot Dario convalescing and hiding out in gimmick or makeup, or maybe his soul has been transferred into this other body. Like, maybe there still is some reasonable doubt as to the identity of Antonio Cueto.
I will say this. If there is some super hokey cheeseball Antonio Dario thing that you're talking about, or some sort of thing where some sort of, I don't know, but if it's just, if it's anything except, like, I'll go along with what's going on now, but if there's some off the wall, really weird thing going on with Dario and Antonio and whatever,
Right.
I'm all for it.
Now, look, remember when we had DJ on this show and I said, I was pissed at him for killing off Dario, and he just laughed and he was like, what makes you think I would kill off Dario? That seemed like a really genuine reaction. And then we went to all the tapings and stuff, and we were like, oh my God, you really killed off Dario, you son of a bitch. But I think that he was being serious, that maybe he really didn't kill off Dario. I don't know now. I mean, I guess that's the good part is I honestly don't know now.
What if this
Dario is dead?
I have an idea. What if Dario knew what was happening, right? So he brought in his dad, gave him a haircut, and then put him in the chair. And his dad got shot. There was dad in a coffin, all clean cut, and Dario's wearing a wig, pretending to be his dad. The old classic switcheroo.
You've been watching Rockford Files, haven't you?
Is Aerostar brought him back from the future?
Brought him back from the... Maybe. I mean, we're just going to have to wait and see. But I do believe that there's some merit to there being something hinky going on there. Speaking of hinky, I like this whole Katrina is caught between realms thing, and that she wants to use Phoenix's life essence to bring her completely back into this realm.
Oh, she almost got some of my life essence, Justin. If she would have walked in 2 minutes later.
I don't get it.
Antonio, were you really mad that Katrina busted in on you?
Why do you think I said that I wanted her to knock next time?
Maybe.
But the thing is, can you have sex with her? Because Sammy Callahan walked through her.
Well, yeah, but she'll phase in and out. That could actually be a new sensation, kind of like doing the thing where you sit on your hand for a while.
Stranger danger.
Just ask Colossus from the X-Men.
It was interesting that she flickered a little bit, like her powers are beginning to weaken,
or like their special effects budget changed.
Like she's getting a little desperate to lock in her presence as a real being.
Well, okay, so she
Lucha
asked.
Underground, she's Coco.
How is she gonna get Phoenix's life force? By the way,
Grave consequences.
Well, Justin, when a man loves a woman,
grave consequences, Byron. There's something magical at play in grave consequences. Somehow she can get his life force and kill him by putting him in a coffin.
Mil throws Phoenix in a coffin, and Phoenix Katrina teleports into the coffin with Phoenix.
What if Katrina is then just in Phoenix's body and you never get to see Katrina again, and you only get to know that she is living vicariously in Phoenix's body?
Phoenix
Byron, could you still get a boner then, Byron? Huh?
You gonna still wear her outfits?
Yes, he would wear her outfits exclusively.
I will say that her current outfit, I don't want to be rude or brash or ungentlemanlike,
but you really want to see Phoenix wear it. I understand.
But her current outfit really presents specific focal points.
Fatrinix is your new fetish. It's Fatrinix. Fatrinix is Byron's new thing. Phoenix dressed up as Katrina. Fatrinix.
Hey, everyone has their thing. You know what I mean?
Byron likes that Fatrinix. All right. I've completely lost my place here, but oh yeah, we had another match. It was a title match.
Yeah. Wow. It was called the Too Little Too Late match. The should have been 2 seasons ago match. I'm never gonna forget Ultima Lucha Dos. DJ.
But is
Chris
this
Roach.
You know, I feel like DJ set himself up for this because they were so worried about, like, well, what do you do with Pentagon as your champion? You just have him run through all the other monsters and blah, blah, blah.
Yes, that's exactly what you do.
And that's what they're doing now. But it did feel in its booking a little lackluster. But I liked the storyline where it went afterwards with Antonio kind of berating Matanza. And I almost feel like Antonio didn't have a problem with Matanza losing, that this was Matanza's punishment, like Dario got punished for their frivolity in the temple the year before, of like, yeah, you weren't ready. You're not ready. You need to focus and I'm going to help you get your power back because you and your brother were dumbasses. So you deserve to
You're too busy getting colonics from beautiful women.
I don't think he got a colonic from a beautiful woman. I think if anything, he sat on Rey Mysterio.
No, he's got no energy because he was fucking Rey Mysterio's corpse all summer.
Maybe.
Exactly. But he was just out of fluids.
And eating bail bones.
3 super pile drivers to beat him. That's still something.
No, it was something. The way the match worked, the storytelling in the ring was great. It was pitch perfect. I had no problem with it at all. I do feel a little bit like Casey, though, that it was like, I really liked it, and I really liked it here, but I really would have liked it there even more.
Yeah, the crowd was ready for them to do it then.
Yeah.
And now it's just a bunch of dudes with neck beards that I've never seen before, and you guys and Vanilla Ice.
Well, it gets better or
white
worse.
People.
So, and then finally we have Jeremiah inserting himself into the grave consequences.
Oh, that is not the only thing he inserted himself into, Justin. Why do you think I said yes so fast, Justin?
Antonio, you had sex with Jeremiah Crane?
No, he had sex with me, Byron.
I didn't see that on the show.
He looks a little
Director's cut.
As soon as I heard about this match, I thought for sure this is it for Jeremiah. This is the end of the road. Phoenix will be fine. Mill will be fine. Jeremiah dies. We'll have to watch next week and see if I'm right. But
until a Cubs fan spoiled on Twitter, good job, Lucha Blog, that there's going to be 2 coffins in this match, so 2 people are going to die.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah, breaking news from Lucha Blog, apparently.
3-way to the grave. So this is not a grave consequences now. This is now a 3-way to the grave match.
Wow.
This is an Antonio original.
No, and it is because there's never been a 3-way casket match. I've looked it up.
So this is an Antonio Cueto original here, 3-way to the grave thing. So we'll have
you know, in Japan when they do casket matches, they call it the Undertaker death match.
It's appropriate. That's what it is.
Jason the Terrible loses every fucking time.
Anyway, so that's the episode. Much better than the previous week.
Yes.
Giant leaps forward. Like, and the ratings, the ratings weren't as good, right, Case?
No, apparently this is from our friends over at SoCal Uncensored. They're the ones that reported it, that they basically lost 1/3 of the audience, ratings wise, which it sucks because this was a really good episode, but it's what happens when you lead off with a shitty episode. Honestly, I mean, their hands were tied, but
yeah, but also the season premiere, I think, probably just had a huge bump just because it was a season premiere.
No, but imagine like you're like telling your friends who've never seen the show before, because you know, like when I came to you, Byron, I'm like, dude, you got to see this show. It fucking rules, right? And I sent you cool clips and stuff. Imagine
it was not a good entry point into the show,
right? Like imagine, like really, like if last week's show was the first episode you ever saw of the show, would you ever watch it again?
I mean, I don't know.
No.
I mean, I probably would because Pentagon rules, but you know.
But how would you? Yeah, but still, that it wasn't really him ruling. Wasn't executed all that well.
I mean, he still, yeah, I know that, yeah, but I mean, we can't just keep shitting on last week. We got to move forward. This week was great.
And it sucks too, because it's like, well, I hope, you know, that not in any small part that, you know, I hope we didn't hurt anything by being honest about it, but we weren't the only ones. I mean, many people said that it was a little, you know, come see, come saw. It wasn't dead on last week. It just wasn't. This week it was. It absolutely was pitch perfect Lucha Underground. Like if you watched this episode and you didn't like this one, then you definitely don't like Lucha Underground. Because that's what it's supposed to be. That's the flow of the show. That is a basic episode. The right amount of vignettes, the right amount of in-ring work, the right amount of different styles between American guys and Lucha Libre guys. You know, the right amount of Pentagon. Striker, I thought, was great on the mic in this episode. You know, you even had the Vanilla Ice factor there, like, you know, with a celebrity, which we've had in the past with Robert Rodriguez and Danny Trejo and Fluffy and some other guys.
And I also liked Vampiro threatening to punch Matt Striker when he made stupid puns.
I liked Vampiro speaking out very blatantly for the dark side and you know, Striker bringing in a little bit of his God theory and trying to represent the light side. I kind of like they're friends, yet they have a very distinct difference in opinion on what things should be exemplified.
And
how'd you feel about Havoc?
I like the line, light will always overcome darkness, and the Vampiro just says, I hate you.
It's great. That is good commentary.
What about them debating Son of Havoc being given a trios title on the spot in the champions?
It's a good debate, don't you think?
I mean, I get both sides. I get Striker saying, you know, he's been basically inferring like he's a good guy, we like him, and he's been a trio.
Newsflash, Byron, I'm never going to bury someone from Cleveland.
Yeah,
but I sure as fuck will. Vampiro was right. Fuck him.
I mean,
next week's guest on MMMshow.
You know, it's just, but the thing is, that them putting it out there and discussing it, I think, is good, because otherwise fans are going to be talking about it, and it's a legitimate thing to talk about.
It's hanging a lantern on it is what it is in you know, insider writing terms.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to. All right. Couple quick things I want to discuss. We don't need to get too far into Money in the Bank. I thought it was an interesting pay-per-view. I'll say that. Like, it was more worth it than most of them are, just interest level wise.
Can we talk about how you were the only person that was a fan of Big Cass's work on the last pay-per-view?
I liked it. Oh my god. I was totally DMing with these guys like, hey, why do I like Big Cass all of a sudden? And I have never been a fan of this guy. I thought that he came in looking better than normal. I was feeling the gimmick. I don't know. I was totally feeling Big Cass, and boy, apparently I was really the only one.
Well, apparently, yeah.
news came out with Big Cass is that there were a few incidents, and also he's just hot garbage anyway, so he has no value and money that he brings to the company.
So why did they even bother to put him back on the card there? Was it really just because D-Bry was like, I'll take him, fine, fuck it, whatever.
Well, one of the defining incident that just came out was at a recent event. He had approached Carmella, who is famous, who's
his ex-girlfriend.
Ex-girlfriend, and he was trying to reconcile and trying to beg her to take him back, and she tried to walk away, so then he grabbed her arm, which then immediately got the attention. The Usos and I believe Eric Rowan, maybe Harper, jumped in and
fuck yeah
situation. You can read about it more online, which
I didn't see this, and I'm not like an Uso fan, and now I'm an Uso fan. Wow.
Look in the DM. And
they would have fucked him up for that shit as well, I think.
Yeah, they would have. They would have pulled his fucking eyeball out.
You know, first of all, Cass is a big old fat tub of shit, and he's 7 foot tall. He can't wrestle. You know for sure he can't fight.
He can't walk.
He can't walk.
No, he will flail.
Like, but
he waddles. It's hilarious.
I saw this thing on Reddit where they showed him doing a black hole slam, and they're like, "Look, that was awesome." And then, like, I think there was a worker who analyzed it, and it made perfect sense. Like, when you look at his feet, his footwork on that thing, you go, "Oh, he's not moving his feet right." Just the fundamentals of doing moves. Like, no wonder he blew his knee out. Like, he should blow his knee out every move that he does. He's not doing things right. He's not coordinated. He's a big clumsy oaf, and it's a good thing they fired him, and hopefully he never gets paid to wrestle again.
Well, he's out, but that guy is back in.
Woo!
Good old Ellsworth there, who apparently indie dates because Thunder Rosa and him are squaring off
tonight.
Probably this weekend.
Oh, that means he's got to drop the belt to her, right?
Yeah, let's hope so. The Romero's got to win that one.
Thunder Rosa.
You can go on Instagram and Google the picture all you want, Byron. You're not.
What?
Just go on Instagram. She's on there. Somebody was asking in the chat.
Not the keyboard.
What my Instagram was. It's the same. It's at Justin Harvey 75 across all forms of social media. Though I do not take friend requests on Facebook. So I will, Instagram, Twitter, leave me alone on Facebook. Anyway.
Yeah. I'm just a Twitter person.
What was I going to say? So Ellsworth is back in, which is
good. Because when your company makes $1 billion, the first thing you do is you hire back James Ellsworth.
I think he's good. I think he does. I think he's good.
I like him. I think he was hilarious in everything that he did.
I thought it was really strange when they let him go in the first place. I didn't quite get it. I mean, it was like the guy can't cost that much money. Like, and it's not like the gimmick's not over, and he's not really pissing anybody off in the back. Like, why did they let him go in the first place?
Well, he's a veteran, and he's respectful and humble. 2, he's a solid worker, which means you can depend on him for live TV stuff. And 3, he gets over.
Do you think that it was just a straight contract thing where he didn't want to re-sign for the same amount? Was he holding out for more money? Like, why'd they let him go?
I think everything that he was around for at the beginning was just like, let's extend him a little bit. Let's extend him. And
so they kept like stringing him along.
Gotcha.
And then they were done with him. And then because he was used in the AJ Styles Dean Ambrose thing, and I was a big fan of that. I don't know if you guys were, but I was a big fan.
Oh yeah, it was good.
He was basically a part of keeping their shit fresh, and it was great. But then it wasn't about him, and when that was done, then their time with him was done. But Carmella saw use in him because Carmella, it turns out, is the shining light between the New Jersey or New York, whatever, Cass, Enzo, those people. Like, she found an idea or came up with an idea and pitched it and sold it to get Ellsworth as her manager, as her sidekick. And that was great. And it's so great that they're going, and it's all credit to her. They're going back to it again. But it's like, that's useless for a while. And then they were done with him. Like, he wasn't a roster guy. He wasn't like, okay, he's a WWE employee. It's all right, let's have him do this thing. And then there's nothing left, you know?
Right.
I think the answer for Ellsworth is Hulk Hogan push. No, Stone Cold push. Stone Cold.
Casey, did you watch that pay-per-view?
Fuck no.
Man, Shinsuke Nakamura is the king of dick kicks. There were so many dick kicks in that AJ Shinsuke match. It would have been like your third favorite match of all time. Okay, maybe not. Maybe 33rd, maybe 333rd, but still, there was a lot of dick kicks.
I feel like it would need like a guy dressed like a monster,
right?
Just kicking someone in the dick. Like if Jason the Terrible got kicked in the dick by like the Crypt Keeper, 5 stars, 7 stars.
Is it worth going back and watching the match, or should we just wait till the next one?
The next 10.
It might be. I don't know.
It wasn't
Again,
a bad match.
I was very entertained by it. I thought Ronda's match was also very good, as expected. She worked and practiced so hard for that one match that it was pitch perfect. Like the moves that she got off on Nia. Like, look, if you're gonna spend 3 weeks working out one match, it goddamn well better be good.
Oh, and they haven't announced her as the DLC pre-order bonus yet, but the AJ Styles thing from last week was right, so that's gonna be right too.
Yeah, no, she is.
I don't know, dude. I canceled the network for New Japan World, which is playing CMLL shows now, but they're weird. Like, they're gonna do a live one in a few days, CMLL, and it's gonna work in the United States because before the CMLL stuff was blocked for all of North America, they figured out how to just block it in Mexico where the copyright issues are. So now, it'll show up on New Japan World. So the 25th, there's gonna be a live show. But the show that they played a couple days yesterday, it was from June 1st. It was super old. And I'm like, what's going on here? And now they're showing Ring of Honor on the New Japan World schedule, which will probably be blocked for North America, I would think.
I don't know, because the way their syndication works for Ring of Honor, it is so hard to find that goddamn show. It's all.
But yeah, New Japan World is starting to really bring in their affiliated groups as far as streaming on the site. Not everything is available everywhere, though.
It looks like their new front office people are really making a push to go global and try to give WWE a run for their money and start touring and really trying to saturate the global market. They need to make the website navigation a little bit easier.
You can get a Chrome extension that I found on Reddit that really helps out with the translation.
But I'm not talking about that. I can half read Japanese. That's not even the problem. It's just I think it's just shitty layout and navigation in general.
It's Japanese.
So I think it just needs an overhaul. I think they need to overhaul that website.
But I do recommend subscribing because we got the G1 tournament coming up, and
that's
going to be awesome.
Oh, that's so tough for me though, because I have my CBS All Access subscription for Big Brother this summer, and I just don't know if I can give that up, Byron. Like Casey, I can't keep them all, and I've got network right now. I guess maybe I should give up network. Anyway, the Ronda thing. The match was great, and the storyline on the following Monday, Alexa coming in, cashing in immediately, taking the belt. Like, what other story could make more sense than that? You got two monsters. Ronda's just fucking handed it to Nia. Alexa slides in there, gets the fucking win. It screws Ronda over, and then Ronda goes ballistic on Monday night, lays everybody out, lays out the refs, lays out Alexa Bliss, lays out fucking Kurt Angle. Perfect storytelling, because now they can suspend her for 30 days and protect her from TV more and have people still liking it and not feeling like they're getting robbed of more Ronda, which is what they are.
Oh, and I want to say to Andre in the chat, you should try the DDT website sometime because it's 10 times worse than the New Japan site to navigate. But I do want to say, you want to talk about great storytelling? My favorite bit of storytelling was in New Japan, where Michael Elgin immediately lost his title back to Goto. And that was tremendous because fuck Michael Elgin.
That. One thing about the Ronda thing, Monday was cool. I didn't watch the show, but I saw that segment. It's great storytelling, but as a weekly traveling sort of circus, people are upset that they don't get to see Ronda at shows they bought tickets for.
Yeah, but you know what they're doing to compensate for that? Like she just did the house show out here. She's doing the house show Sunday. She's doing big appearances on house shows. They're booking her on the Australia thing. She's a special attraction. Like, guys, you don't get to see her every time. You don't get to see Cena every time. You didn't get to see Rock every time the last 2-3 years. That's just the case. You'll see her in the big cities. You'll see her when the WWE hits New York or Los Angeles or Chicago. And guess what? When they go to Des Moines, probably not going to get Ronda. Suck it.
There's some friends of ours who were wanting to see her at a San Diego show. And
they'll get their chance, though. They'll get their chance. They got to understand that the protection of Ronda Rousey is worth probably at least $30 million to them, which is not like all the money in the world, but it's enough. They have to protect Ronda. They have to use her a certain way. And I think that they were overshooting the mark. And the real mistake is not in what they're doing now. The real mistake was when they promised that she was going to be a real performer and that she was going to be on the show every week.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have made that promise in the first place. They didn't need to. I think everyone would have accepted it fine. They were doing that to try to give her credibility of saying, no, she's going to really come and wrestle and really be a performer. Sure, she is. That's great. So she's not Brock Lesnar. That's fine. But at the same time, you still have to protect her. You have to protect her for other reasons. You have to protect her from herself. You have to protect her from hurting other workers. She's still very green. She needs the time, building up to it slowly. Having her workout matches for 2 or 3 weeks before she goes into them is a good idea. It makes for good television. It makes for pay-per-views that are actually worth your $10 a month. And it keeps her as a viable money-making thing for when they go to Australia or they go to Dubai or wherever the fuck they're going to go to some giant, 80,000 person open arena kind of thing that they want to do, or Toronto or Superdome, whatever. They got to keep her a special attraction. They can't have her do what Sasha and Bayley are doing, and it's like restarting the same feud 700 times to the point where nobody gives a fuck. We don't care if Sasha turns heel. I don't care if Bayley turns heel. I don't care if they beat each other senseless for the next 5 episodes of Raw. We have seen it. It has been done. Leave it alone. Nobody gives a fuck about Sasha and Bayley. Sorry. Completely separate point.
Ember Moon. That's where it is.
Well, I know. I mean, I think honestly where it is, it's Alexa. She's the top woman in the WWE. She's the top woman in wrestling right now. It's not Ronda.
Yeah, but Alexa Bliss is the top WWE superstar in the women's division. But I'd rather watch Ember Moon wrestle.
Ember Moon still got to earn it. Alexa earned it and is better at it right now.
No, I'm just saying, like, my preference is not the type of product that WWE puts out. I like to watch the wrestling matches. Well, I'd rather watch Ember Moon wrestle, but I know that Alexa Bliss is, to your point, their biggest actual WWE star.
Right, but that's because she is as good a wrestler as many of those girls. I won't say she's the best one, but she's good. She's credible. She looks good, and she can talk on the microphone. She's The Rock, is what she is. She's The Rock.
I would say The Rock, if you take away his sharpshooter, he was a better worker.
Oh, God, that sharpshooter was so fucking bad.
I don't think Rock was a better worker. Maybe
if you include his sharpshooter, he's probably a couple notches below.
Yeah, I don't know. He had a couple of things in his moveset that were like, Though, obviously, you do have to give The Rock points because his finishers were more over and got bigger pops than anything Alexa's doing as a finisher, and had more credibility, even though he is dropping an elbow that typically didn't even connect with people, which was amazing. It was a
Muda elbow. Yeah. Stalled Muda elbow.
I mean, he was throwing the elbow back at himself as he landed more than he was ever trying to hit anyone with. neither here nor there. Wait, Byron, you're probably the only person that would have any kind of opinion on this. Sanity got called up to SmackDown this week. Do you care?
I do care. I didn't see it. I probably should check it out. I've just been too busy.
Weren't they just like not getting called up because of trademark issues with the name or something like that?
I don't know about that. I think it's also just the thing of they probably weren't given a direction when they got called up, and also they're missing Nikki Cross, which is part of their appeal. You know,
wait, she didn't go. She didn't move up with them.
No, they kept her down to
she's like
fill out the women's division.
Yeah, she's like the number 2 or 3 person in the female roster down there right now. They can't really afford to lose.
God, she's gonna be bald by the time she makes the main roster.
It's just Shayna can't beat up Dakota Kai every week, you know.
Yeah.
So, but I mean,
I popped just because of EY. Like, I remember seeing him on Impact 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Just like kind of starting to get over and then getting pushed back down and just like, you know, struggling in Impact. And now, holy crap, the kid's on SmackDown. And I can't even call him a kid anymore. He's old as fuck now.
Well, you have, I mean, I think you could talk about Eric Young and AJ Styles in the same breath. I think. I mean, Eric Young got a run on top, but he's kind of like the mid card AJ Styles. Like, he's fucking solid, but he was a guy who TNA or Impact kind of just let go when they should have held on to him. They didn't.
Oh God, Eric Young, completely underrated bumper and seller. That guy's fucking amazing. He used to be the dumbest shit in TNA, though. Fuck.
What I love about Sanity is that they have a team of everyone's different, and the thing is, you have like Nikki Cross, who's amazing indie superstar. You have Killian Dane, who's amazing indie superstar, and you have Eric Young, who's the veteran. But you have a guy like Alexander Wolf, who I saw at NXT house shows. Like, he was kind of fishing for something. He was like a German like super warrior at one point, which was a nothing thing, but they're trying to find something. And you see him, it's not like he put on a new outfit, like, or he got a gimmick. Like, you've seen him as Sanity goes on add so much confidence to his performance.
Right. Well, but what's going to have to happen at SmackDown is it's going to have to be EY's charisma that gets him over.
Yeah.
I mean, now this is it. The kid's been working at this for a long, long time, and now is the chance where he's got to fucking run with it. Like, the second they give him the microphone, he better come with something hot. He better come with straight fire.
Well, he has more TV experience on wrestling shows, and he's done his on his own. He's done his own regular television shows.
But I'm just saying, he's got to do it. He's got to like just run with it. Don't fuck it up, man.
Yeah,
that's it.
No, I mean, it's not like a rookie coming up.
Right.
He has higher expectations, and they're gonna depend on him,
and they're gonna hold him to it too. They're gonna give him a chance to do it, and you know, he's got 2 choices. He can be Ziggler or he can be Elias.
But I do think Eric Young is the vehicle for Killian Dane, for Alexander Wolf.
Yes.
That's where the money's at, and he is putting them over. That's what
I don't think that they would have gotten called up if that wasn't the case, but we'll see. The other thing I liked about SmackDown, they had this weird gauntlet match. There's not much to talk about, but there was a middle section of that match that was D-Bry versus Samoa Joe. And it was every bit as good as you would expect it to be. It was like, you know, I just kind of had SmackDown in the background, ignoring most of the episode. The Carmella stuff was good or whatever. But then I looked up and I saw that and I started watching it, and it felt exactly like you wanted it to feel. It felt like that segment we were talking about from Impact last week where they dropped into that old great match. And Samoa Joe is part of both of them. But yeah, that was the Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe, AJ thing where it just catches your attention, and it killed the flow of the whole rest of the show because it was so damn good. D-Bry, Samoa Joe felt the same way. It was like this kind of throwaway moment in the middle of the show that wasn't supposed to be very consequential, but like you look up and it was like, oh my God, this is the kind of wrestling I'm drawn to. And you know me, I haven't seen a lot of D-Bry. So maybe that's why it was fresh to me. But it looked great. And Samoa Joe, they actually called him the Samoan submissions machine after he moved from 3 or 4 different submission moves and was chaining them together like he used to. Like I haven't seen him do that in WWE until today when I watched SmackDown.
He may have done it NXT at the very beginning, but
Maybe
yeah,
a couple times.
not on the big shows.
Yeah, and I should never say never, but this was one of the first times when I was like, it was noticeable. D-Bry was also selling it the right way.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Ronda thing will be interesting. We'll see where that goes. I'm kind of interested to see how they build to SummerSlam. I don't think this Extreme Rules pay-per-view is building to much so far. You know, you've got weird stuff like Rusev versus AJ happening now, which is great, but I don't think that WWE is taking that as seriously as I almost feel like it's a slap in the face. It's like they get to the pay-per-view that they know is a nothing pay-per-view, and they're like, oh, just give all the fanboys whatever they think would be cool. But then you know it means nothing. It's kind of bullshit. It kind of irks me a little bit. So I feel like we're going to get some fanboy matches that'll probably be great, and then WWE won't do anything with them. Anyway, I got to talk about Impact because you know who came on with the hot segment this week.
Was it the guy that said goodbye to Impact on Twitter yesterday?
Nope, that wasn't the hottest segment. And it wasn't even Conan, who had a straight fire segment coming back to LAX this week. He had a backstage vignette that was very well acted. Loved it. Like, you know, Conan always was a star, but there's something about how he is portraying his character right now with a little more subtlety that makes him seem a lot more vicious when then he used to just run out and say he was bowdy and rowdy kind of shit. Like something about him now and him turning a phrase in his catchphrases is a lot more vicious these days. But he wasn't even the most vicious thing on Impact. What do you think it was?
Sid?
Su Yung.
Sid Vicious?
It wasn't Su Yung. Taya lost this week too, which I was not happy about. I didn't like that.
I'm very excited.
It was fucking
for the new beginning.
It was Kevin Kross. Kevin Kross.
Oh, wait. Because you don't call him that, Justin.
The artist formerly known as Kevin Kross.
Okay. Killer
Kross. These vignettes. I asked Kevin the other day, I was like, are you writing these? Or are they watching your YouTube or whatever? He's like, no, this is what they've got for me.
He's running his own shit.
It is pitch perfect for the way I always wanted to see him come in and be portrayed. I'm a little bummed that it's not in Lucha Underground, but I'll take it. Like I will watch Impact every week now. Can't say that before. Or I'll at least try to search out his segments and his matches.
What I really enjoyed about his promo, sorry to talk over you, but it started to veer towards it's really in tone started to veer towards Joker, and the Joker, like Heath Ledger Joker, and Heath Ledger Joker is super badass, but a lot of people really do it. Even like Sting really did it, and it started to veer towards like it got badass, but then it started to get into that, oh, this is the Joker thing everyone does, and then he brought it back to like when he said, "I am the new beginning," that to me like made it Killer Kross more than anything else. And it just, to me, every single moment and every single word that he says, pardon the pun, but has an impact. It has meaning.
It does. And I think it's the evolution of a gimmick where it's perfect timing for a company like Impact to pick up a guy like this, because he's been honing this gimmick on his own for a while. Like you and I, we love that segment where he chases down Paulie Culver in the fucking radio studio. Hilarious and great. And it's totally the kind of start of this portrayal. And then he's got that other video where, you know, he walks up to the guy standing around outside and then just smashes a cinder block with his hands and then gets in the car and drives off. And it's just like, what the fuck? That's just some vicious shit to do. You know, and he's got all these bits that he's been doing, and then the stuff that he did in AAA the first time where he's popcorning people's eyeballs, and then now with the Mad gimmick. Like his portrayal in various companies that he's been in has, I think, led him to this and this being the right moment to kind of unleash the Killer. Like, I feel like this is the real start of the Killer Kross gimmick. Like, he changed the name a little while ago, but this is the start of it.
Absolutely. It's like a mixture of like Joker, of Bronson, of I don't know who else, like
fucking American Psycho.
American Psycho is a big one. I mean, it's a guy who knows that he is more powerful than anything else in the world. So like, he, as angry as he gets, you could see that he doesn't stress about anything because he knows that he can crush anything and anyone around him, and that's fucking scary.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be cool to see what they do with it. Like, it's going to be interesting and weird once they bring it down to the ring. And my biggest fear and concern with them bringing it to the ring is honestly the lighting and that crowd. It's like, damn, I want him to have a presentation that's a little bit darker and whatnot. And I just don't know if the impact zone itself is going to allow the gimmick to get to where it should get to. Like, I think the backstage stuff is going to be great. I think his in-ring work will be fine as long as they use him with the right kind of guys, which I actually think they have the exact right opponents for him at Impact. We'll see. We'll see where it gets to. Yeah. I am also interested in the Sami Callihan Pentagon thing. As I said last week, I thought they did the build with that nicely. And then Meef, what the fuck is going on with Phantasma? They have this weird match. Pentagon almost loses his mask. Cuerno comes in for the save, and then he's on Twitter talking like it's his fucking farewell to Impact.
Well, we're not going to read into things too much. And I don't know anything, insider information on it. But from it, I would gather that it's to do with, it's going into Triple Mania season soon enough. And he's going to be busy with that. I mean, I think they've got maybe 4 or 6 dates set for TV before Triple Mania. I'm not sure.
Right.
So I think he's most time doing that. And I don't know with the tapings, because I think the tapings have just been.
Yeah, they've finished them.
So I don't think I don't think he was at them. Or if he was, it was like.
I mean, he was making it sound like this was his last match from those tapings, even. Yeah. So,
yeah.
I mean, I don't think that there's any reason to believe there's been any bridges burned or anything. It was just kind of a weird, strange, cryptic tweet from Phantasma.
Yeah, what's weird is that I don't see it as like. Yeah. We're sorry to interrupt, but what's weird for me, like I don't follow AAA as much as you guys do, and I'm not as big of a fan as Phantasma as you guys are. But as a casual fan who casually watches Impact, I see the value in Phantasma being a guy who represents Lucha Libre on that show. He's well spoken with his English, and he's a solid worker. He has a great look. He has a great gimmick. He has a mask. Which looks cool and gives him his own brand. It seems like, and especially with a company that's tried to hire Del Rio so many times and invest in him, and brings in Penta and Phoenix, like you want to hang on to Phantasma. Like I don't know why he wouldn't be around.
Yeah.
So I think it's not he's not quit and they haven't got rid of him or have said
right.
I think it's more a case of it's getting to that kind of season where he can't go somewhere else too much because he's going to be doing lots of press stuff for Triple Mania.
And I was saying this earlier too. It made me feel like maybe he's going to lose his mask at Triple Mania, and that maybe he's going to come back without the hood.
Oh, you think, Justin, out of all the people in that match, come on.
Parker's losing it, Casey.
Look, just because he just wrestled Rush and completely lost his mask and had his face painted underneath tonight doesn't mean anything.
Well,
yeah, no. Yeah.
Meatloaf, what would you think? What would you think if in a few months, kind of like whatever time off you need for a minor repackaging, Phantasma comes back without a mask and a slightly different look?
I mean,
what would you think of that?
There's two things for it. So on the left hand, I'll say left hand side of me is like, you know, I don't want him to lose his mask because the symbol and like the kind of the fact that it's his look and it's his gimmick that's handed down by his dad to him is something, and tradition is the kind of thing I want to see him keep it. I don't want to see him just al-mass it and just kind of chuck away the masks for cheap. I mean, it's Mania and he's got some, you know, great guys he's up against, but fucking Psycho Clown can't fucking like hold a light to what this guy can do in a ring, and it's terrible. Be allowed to have Wagner's mask hanging on his fucking wall.
Wait, can I go back and revamp my answer from before? Instead of Jerry Lynn, can I say Psycho Clown? One of the all-time greats.
Oh, fuck off.
Just kidding.
But so the thing is I don't want to see him lose the mask, and he can continue doing what he's doing with the mask.
But is there a way, because
Dr.
Wagner keeps his mask, but he doesn't wrestle with it? Like he keeps his heritage.
But but it's not cool. It's not, if you lose a mask match, you know, that's it. But for me, as much as I know, I've said it before. I said it when Phantasma, when I first got into kind of following Phantasma. If he loses the mask, he can do more with his career.
Yeah, he's what, early mid-30s? It's time.
Yeah, he's 2 years old. Yeah, 85, I think was he was born in.
He's either got to do it now or when he's 50.
Justin.
What?
Yeah.
He's either got to do it now or when he's 50. Like I think like now is a good time.
So I think if he loses the mask, the thing is so he can, as Byron said, he's really good with his English. He's like, you know, multilingual. He's an intelligent guy. You know, he's got a degree in relations and everything like that. And I personally was hoping that he would go to get gimmicks aside, keeping his gimmick, but being able, and because of his language, and he speaks clearer than Rey Mysterio did. Yeah. I just see that he could have been he could have been what they always wanted and have tried with Del Rios and all these other guys.
I think he still can be. WWE. I think he can be completely. I think he finishes out a Lucha Underground run. You know, he keeps his mask on at Lucha Underground. I think he finishes out that run as Cuerno. He does Impact for 2 years without the hood and does a bunch of AAA stuff, and then he fucking bails and tries to go to WWE. And his late
WWE is going to unmask anyway. Might as well do it on your own terms. Get the payday.
Yeah, but I think then he could ride out a good solid 6-7 years at WWE and be better than a lot of the guys that have come from similar backgrounds that have tried to do the same thing. You know, I was
just hoping that he would be the guy who could keep his mask. And because of how good he is in the ring and how good he is with his language, he doesn't, like, they have to get rid of Almas's mask so that he's facially the little pretty boy can get over. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Whereas Phantasma doesn't. He can do it with his language. He can do it with his promos. He can do that and his wrestling ability.
He could. Almas needed. You know, with the WWE, I think that they've realized at this point that Rey Mysterio was an anomaly for them. I don't think that they have any faith in their ability to get over a masked gimmick. I think they're selling a different type of product now at WWE. Like, sure, he can do that in Impact. I think he can do that with Lucha. He can do that in a lot of places. And I'm really happy with his acting work on Lucha Underground this week. I was like, where the fuck has this been? Why haven't they not been doing this more with this guy? But then hearing the weird way the Impact thing was, brought me back to all those, God damn it, are they going to do that to this guy again moments? I was just like, fuck, here we go. He's got this nice little run built up. He's been on every episode of Impact for 2-3 months now. And, you know, it's all been solid stuff. And they've been kind of working him up to the top of the mid card kind of feel, like where they could propel him into the top of the card anytime they want to. Are they going to do it? Are they going to do it? Are they going to do it? No, he's taking a break from Impact. What the fuck, man? That's the same shit that I felt with Lucha Underground when they started with this character, and it just pisses me off. So I I hope that the AAA thing pays off because that could turn this whole thing around. Something has to come out of Triple Mania for him. If he doesn't lose the mask and he doesn't do the demasking or doesn't lead to some bigger storyline for him out of Triple Mania, I gotta say that'd be an epic fail.
Yeah, it's for me when it was getting kind of decided. I just thought they were kind of just shoving him in there because the whole. Yeah, but then again, maybe he wanted to lose his mask to Tejana, or because that match was what they were originally planning for Triple Mania, and then all of a sudden it happened earlier, and now they're going to put. And for me, the reason he looks like the guy who's going to lose to most people is because most people see it and go, well, the LA Park, Pentagon, and Psycho Clown. So he looks like a throwaway option. But then again, in that essence, couldn't he be the guy who's pinned first and therefore not actually lose the mask? Because it's elimination. So you lose the mask if you're the second to, you're the guy who gets pinned in the final.
Such a weird idea. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's
strangest
not
place to rules.
It's not
ever.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, it's an elimination, and you get the last person to be pinned loses the mask.
It should be an elimination, and whoever wins gets to decide who's demasked. That's the way they should do that shit. Because then you get the rub on two guys. Because then whoever calls for the mask to be taken can get a certain amount of heat too, and they can get a bigger rub off the whole thing.
Or you should be able to pick.
You know what I think we should start a wrestling promotion and try to do a show at Madison Square Garden so we can have it shut down.
That was okay. Fun, 2 weeks, wasn't it?
Yeah, don't worry. Wang is getting a show in Madison Square Garden.
Why does anybody care? Why does anybody care? Why? I mean, don't get me wrong. MSG is the mecca of sports in a lot of ways, and I get it to a certain extent. But at the same time, it's like, go to Mohegan Sun. Go. There's so many other places to go that are fine. Go over to Brooklyn. Like,
haven't they
too expensive?
Haven't they moved MSG a bunch of times, and it's not even like really the same building and all that fun stuff?
It's been redone a bunch of times. It just, I just find it weird that all these promotions get all excited about, we're gonna try to run MSG, and then it like falls apart, and then it's like the end of the world. But it's like, you were doing fine without it. Like, you just did so good that you were even thinking about going to MSG. Who gives a fuck if you actually go? Do what
I remember when
doing. Go to Chicago.
I remember when
have a good time.
Impact ran MSG. So Impact's like, we're running MSG, and they were really just running the Hammerstein Ballroom because that's like part of MSG, and it was pretty funny.
Yeah, that happens here. People say they're playing Wembley, or the fight's going to be at Wembley Stadium. There's like a back room, and that's where there's like a venue. There's a venue, and they're like, oh yeah, well, don't get me wrong. There's some acts have actually played Wembley Stadium. It's not even the Wembley Stadium doesn't exist anymore. The original Wembley Stadium, they've got a new one. It's shit, but there's like a concert hall kind of thing.
Also, the stadium where Bulldog and Brett wrestled is no longer there. Did the O2 replace that?
No. So the O2 was built for the Millennium. It was originally the Millennium Dome.
Oh, okay.
Which was a terrible, terrible decision by the government. It costs like 700 million, something ridiculous. At the same time, we decided to change the national stadium, the football stadium, and where big sporting events and things happen. And that cost a load of money and ran on for more years than it needed to actually build. And they basically fucked it up, and it's so terrible now. It lacks atmosphere. But yeah, the stadium, I think it's moved to another part of London, I want to say, or it's moved to another plot of land. But they took or they just knocked it down, but kept the two towers that were there. It was like two higher than the rest of the stadium kind of towers.
Man, it's sad. They should have a statue of Davey Boy where it once stood.
Was that a SummerSlam they ran there? Was it SummerSlam?
Yeah.
Davey Boy's son just stand there instead and act like a statue, because I don't think it'd be very hard for him.
He has the same brain power as the statue.
Yeah.
All right, I don't
Not
have
a fan of
anything
Harry
else
Boy
unless
Smith,
Byron
I'm
wants to
just
talk
saying.
about All In or Bola or Oh, I do want to talk. If anybody,
I actually have to go because I have to wake up in a couple hours to go to work.
Last thing I wanted to throw in was if anybody hasn't heard, the MavPro show tomorrow is canceled. They announced that they had some personal issues with the promoter that he had to deal with, which is shame because it looked like a really good show. Sounds like they're trying to reschedule it here. It's also a shame because it was going to be their last LA event for a little while because they're going to do a couple of Vegas events. Those Vegas events are still happening. MavPro is not going anywhere. It's just an unfortunate set of circumstances. So Sabu will not be wrestling Kross tomorrow in North Hollywood as planned. It was their big ECW show, Heatwave. So it's supposed to be Taya's debut at MavPro too. A couple of fun people. But anyway, that's been moved. But Bumps and Bruises you can check out on Sunday. Marty Elias will be at that one. Anyway, that's all we've got time for Casey, Meatloaf, Byron, Jim, who's not here, Marty Elias, our awesome guest. Till next time,
Marty.
Stay calm and stay in the mix.